My children,
Oh, Jesus.
the council has met, and it has been ordained by the spooky bitches of yore that even though it is in the height of August, the heat is still here. This is Halloween. Now rise, my children of the spookies. Rise, my spooktacular brethren. And we shall claim August for Halloween and put up Halloween decorations. For if the major department stores can put up Christmas decorations in the middle of October, why can't we celebrate our favorite season in the middle of summer? And also talk about Day Shift and Archie versus Predator here on the Fake Nerd Podcast. I'm going to take this off. My gosh.
What?
Hi, everyone. How's it going?
What the hell was that?
This is quite possibly the best little investment I made when I was at the Heathrow Airport on my way. So it's a travel pillow, and it's actually in the shape of Pinky, the Pac-Man ghost.
Oh my God.
It zips open, and it has an eye mask and an actual travel pillow right underneath it. So for audio listeners, it's a really neat little thing, and it actually helped me a lot on my plane flight from Calgary to LA.
All right. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Sparks Woody, and that's Brandon T. McClure. And the voice you heard intro this is Ben Magnet. And this is particularly funny because I don't think Ben was aware that I also now have control of StreamYard. So both Brandon and I saw what Ben was doing before the show started. And we were both like... So we just saw our little video boxes, both of us just going... What are we doing?
I like doing bits when I start the show, so sue me.
I know you do.
Ben, real quickly, I need to make an amendment to your statement. I hate Halloween.
Sorry.
So I'll keep August. You can have your Halloween.
Cool. I'll take more Halloween for me then.
Brandon's always got to come and ruin everyone's party.
I don't like Halloween. You've known me how long?
I mean, I think hate's a strong word.
You're right. I don't like it.
Yeah, I would say hate's a strong word because he goes with us to the haunts almost every year.
I hate it every year.
Yeah, but that one year where that one server gave you a glass, an entire cup of ice and said, "Dear Brandon, have a great haunt," was a fun time.
No, it really wasn't. I only do it because I like being included in things. Sometimes. So like we get a bunch of people to go, a bunch of my friends, some of them I haven't seen in years, some of them I haven't seen in a year. But like, oh yeah, I'd love to hang out with them. It's torture though. The things I do to hang out with you people, it is torture. Anyway.
All right.
Hi, guys.
Anyway, audience, after that mood killer, here we are.
I think the lesson is I love you guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. I have links.
You do?
Not many though. It was a slow week for us. Things are gonna probably slow down a little bit here at the Fake Nerd Podcast family of podcasts because there's a major life change happening in the screen to this side of me.
Brandon is gesturing to his left.
Yes, but I forgot the direction.
Right.
Of what
technically, if
this
you're
is.
watching, it's the right. I get you.
Yeah.
So things are going to slow down a bit, but it's very exciting. I'm very excited for you guys, Sparks.
Yeah, I'm going to be moving into a house. I'm going to be a homeowner. It's exciting. Pretty much at the same time we close escrow, I go back to school. and at the start of October, my work will not let me call time off anymore. So it's just gonna be a great time, guys. It's gonna be a great end of the year.
We're gonna have a lot of fun.
I can see the sadness in your eyes.
I'm not gonna talk about where I work, but it's pretty shitty.
But until then, our Sparks, you actually featured quite heavily in our links. So I will say my Screen Rant work is once again uploaded. There was only one published article from me this week. It was the article on ranking all the Predator films according to Rotten Tomatoes. I stand by what I said last week. I think AVP is way too low. But that said, you can check out all sorts of other things in my Screen Rant work now that I'm home. For those of you who don't know, I've been dealing with some family problems. I am home now in Los Angeles, and my workflow will start to pick up once again. So I'm excited.
More importantly, more importantly, Brandon, you are back home with your cat son, who missed you.
He will not leave me alone. He's being a little bitch.
I just went on our YouTube page to like quickly change just in case the photo for this episode to our actual photo, and the photo is Ben with the eyes right now, and I'm like, maybe I should just leave it.
with my little with Pinky's eyes.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
You look like oh shit, I did do that this week. You look like the people when they have Starro on their face.
Oh yeah.
Like the same dead eye look.
The same dead fisheye charm. Okay.
I forgot I rewatched the Suicide Squad this week.
Things in my life have slowed down a bit. My father, who broke his hip, is home. My mother is dealing with that now. It's hard, but anyway, I'm home, so work is going to start picking up on my end a lot quicker. But so that's all the personal links, because Ben, you also didn't publish anything this week, correct?
No, I mean,
you did, however, have a piece recently published in Fusion, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. Shit. Let me get that. Yeah. So Fusion issue 34. I'm actually very proud of this article. Let me flip it over here. Ah, damn it. There you are. Yeah. So I wrote an article for Fusion about the legitimacy of video game music. And I even mentioned mine and Brandon's alma mater, CSUN, because a few years ago, CSUN actually, they have a club of a bunch of musicians where they get together and they play music from different video games, all sorts of different video games. And they even held a concert a few years ago. And I'm bummed out because this happened after I graduated. But at the same time, but also the article is just about how while the debate is still raging on to this day about whether video games can be considered art or not, the music of video games are being played in concert halls all over the world. And
Excuse me. Bear McCreary did the score for God of War. It's their art.
Oh yeah, damn right. But also I mentioned, and this actually got my brain thinking, because last year, during the opening ceremony of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, when all the athletes came out in the procession of countries and the athletes, video game music was being played over the loudspeakers. It wasn't just any sort of, it was all music from different video games, Sonic, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts. They were playing it as these top tier athletes were walking into the stadium. So yeah, it's an article I'm very proud of. Issue 34 of Fusion Magazine. Go buy it and check it out and read it. Hope you enjoy it.
And interestingly enough, that's not going to be the last time we talk about Northridge in this episode.
You're right.
And then I forgot to link that. I'll link a purchase link if I can find it to Fusion Gaming in the description for after the fact. So those watching the rewind, that'll be there. Audio people, that's going to be there.
Oh yeah, and also I haven't gotten it yet, but when you do put the purchase link on there for the issue, there's going to be issue 34, and under issue 34 is a special Fusion Final Fantasy issue, which I do have a small article in about why Final Fantasy 15 is actually a pretty good game. So that's going to be in there as well.
Are there
Sparks, did you raise your hand to say something?
No, I was stretching. Sorry.
Okay.
Are there people who don't think Final Fantasy 15 is a good game?
There's been some discourse recently.
Okay. I don't feel like the naysayers are quite strong enough to say like it's actually a pretty good game.
Don't get me wrong. There are parts of 15 in the story department that aren't the best, but everything else just like trumps it for me. So
you could chalk that up to almost any Final Fantasy game, though.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a question. Am I glitching or are you guys?
You don't look like you're glitching on our end.
You're fine on my end.
Interesting, because you guys are glitching on my end, both of you.
Okay, well, we're not seeing that. So it must be for you that we look like that.
Interesting. Okay, well, anyway.
Everything looks crispy clean.
We'll power on through.
Crispy
clean. 2 new episodes were dropped this week. What came first? A review special for Nope. You, Sparks, did that with Ryan.
I did. I don't have a lot to say about it because we don't talk about it a lot because we don't want to tell anyone what that movie really is. If you've seen the movie, you should definitely watch it. It's a great discussion. We're very happy with Nope. That's it. Go check it out.
Hopefully gonna see it this week.
Yeah, should. It's good.
And then Umbrella Academy. Sparks, once again, in the description, Sparks, you and I did Umbrella Academy Season 3.
Yeah, people ask me to do things, I just say yeah.
That does seem to happen. I was really happy to get to do that because it seemed like we wouldn't get to do Umbrella Academy. Ben and Ryan had not had a chance to sit down and watch it, and the two of us had.
Yeah.
So I was glad that we got to hash that one out.
Yeah, I knew we were.
It's been a while for me though.
Yeah, I knew we were going to get to that one way or another. You did jump on it a little quick. I was like, I knew we weren't going to record it that quick. So when you had already watched it, I was like, it's not going to be that soon.
I had only one window with my partner to watch it, so I was like, "Well, I guess this is what we're doing."
Mm-hmm.
Although in hindsight, it was between Lock and Key and Umbrella Academy. Probably should have gone with Lock and Key.
No, now the third season's out. Just watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I think I will.
I unfortunately can't watch Lock and Key yet because my fiance and I are not in the same place yet, so I gotta wait.
Yeah. Too bad we never get to do any more Fake Nerds watches for Lock
The nice thing is I know it's the last season, so it's not like, ooh, if I'm not helping contribute to those numbers, it's like I'm killing the show. I'm not killing the show. The show's done.
Right. So that's all the links you can find in the description. They are linked below. Check them out. Cool stuff all around. Who wants to go first of their week? Ben does.
Big Bentley. Let's go.
I quit. I'm out. Bye. No, I'm kidding. You guys are never going to let me live that down. So after a whole 2 weeks of me doing a whole lot of shit, I did absolutely nothing media-wise. Only thing I really did was just write an article for Fusion, and I'm currently working on an article for OSG. I haven't touched my PlayStation. I haven't played any video games. If I was consuming any sort of media, it would just be the funny memes that Brandon would send me on my Instagram and scrolling through TikTok before I go to sleep. That's literally all I did.
You heard it here first, folks. Ben Magnet, runner of Basement Arcade Pause Menu, king of video games in the fake nerd world, has yet to touch Multiverses, the new Smash Brothers style fighting game. Has not done it.
Yet.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Ben?
Other stuff. Other things have propped up that I need to. Hell, even when my first Monday back to work, I not only had my therapist appointment, I also had a dentist appointment that exact same day. That's
just terrible planning.
That is terrible planning. That I was not prepared for that.
I know what you did too, because you went and you looked and you're like, I just got to make sure these things are clear of my vacation. Once I'm back from vacation, I can take care of these things. Oh shit, I'm back. Those things are the same day.
Oh shit, indeed. So, yeah.
Is that your week?
Pretty much. I mean, I went to Benihana for dinner last night. That's about it. Media wise, I didn't really do anything much. I didn't do anything. I do need to get Multiverses. Besides that, I haven't touched my PlayStation 5. I haven't even touched any video. I will just come home, go to sleep, wake up, do some work, and then go to work.
This is, real quickly, Ben, I just want to reiterate what this section is. It is about what we did, what we didn't do.
You forgot to say not what we didn't do.
Oh, yeah. Ben, look at your name.
Christ.
I was waiting for you to look.
Spelled it wrong, but that's okay.
God damn it.
Did I really?
Yeah, there's an E before the Y.
Whatever.
Ben, it's all with love. Okay, I'll go because I also have literally little to report. It's not to say that I didn't consume a lot of media. It's just most of the media I consumed was the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm living that summer of anime life, baby, and I actually have things to say about some of the things I watched. So I'll talk about them. Let's see. Oh, Land of the Lustrous. Excuse me. Ben, do you know what this is?
I do not.
Okay. Land of the Lustrous.
Would you stop?
No. The whole episode.
Land of the Lustrous is the same studio that made Beastars for Netflix.
Okay.
It's all 3D animation, but like this is the only studio that seems to be able to do 3D anime and make it look good. I watched the entire. There's only 12 episodes out. I watched the entire season. There will be more. The manga is like in chapter 90 or something. It's very. I don't want to say it's like Steven Universe because that's not accurate, but like the concept of like gems as people is a similar thing here. It's long after human life. we're not really clear where we are, but we do know humans once existed long time ago. These gems are born and they look like young girls. They live for a very long time. They are judged upon.
So, Ben, for the audio listeners, Ben has changed his name to Big Magnet, damn it.
No, I didn't even notice the big part. I did notice the big.
Oh, boy.
I didn't notice the big until afterwards. I just saw the Bentley part and I changed it.
Oh.
And then, of course, right when I changed it, I saw the big part. I'm like, son of a bitch.
That was good. All right, sorry, Sparks.
So I apologize, Sparks. Yeah.
Okay. So they are judged by their, not judged, but like they're determined for what they can do for the society by their hardness level. And so they all are gems. And what's cool about the 3D animation, what makes it work here, is because they are gems, their hair move, like it looks like a gem when they move. So like while the hair is in the style of like hair in anime, the way that like the gloss and the shimmer moves looks like a gem inside of the hair. So that's like where the animation like really shines with it. They are living in this world where they are constantly attacked by people they call the Lunarians. They do come from the moon. They kind of appear in the sky as like this cloud forming of kind of Buddhist imagery. It is not clear why exactly they're doing this. There's a lot of mystery to the show, and not all the mysteries are answered by the end of the first season. And they show up and they want to harvest the gems. And if they do happen to catch one of them and take them away, then they shatter them and they come back with like weapons armed with pieces of them. So like they'll equip their gem pieces to like arrows and things like that, which is really brutal and screwed up when you think about it. Because these people are being attacked by the friends they've lost, literally in arrowheads that are being pointed at them.
Shit, I forgot something. I'll be right back.
That's fine. So it's like I said, it's a lot of like what's going on. There's a lot of mystery to it, but it's pretty cool. The art style's really good and the music is really good. So I do recommend it. Ben, I think you would like it a lot. Okay. It's very like, to me, without knowing a lot about RWBY.
Oh, okay.
It's very much like, what if RWBY looked visually really good? No offense. But like visually really good. But like a lot of the caricature lady styles is in that vein.
Okay.
And like, I just think that the whole setup is cool. It's really strikingly pretty. And like I said, the music is really powerful. Like I like the music a lot. I'm also watching on my own. I've started catching up on My Hero Academia, so I'm done with season 3.
Nice.
And I'm probably going to go into season 4 soon. We'll see. And then the other major thing I did is I've started Demon Slayer. I am not far in.
Oh,
but
how many episodes?
Literally like 5.
Okay, so did he take the big selection test yet or no? I forgot.
Yes. Yeah, that's over.
He's an official part of the Demon Slayer Corps now. Yes,
he's going. His next thing is to go on his first mission.
Oh, you were in for a treat.
Yeah, like Demon Slayer's cool. It's good stuff. I think the style and design is good enough that like very standard shonen writing can't bog it down too much.
Yeah.
Like I will say like no character particularly stands out to me so far, which 5 episodes in, that's like
yeah,
nobody feels unique yet.
Yeah, definitely Tanjiro does straight up feel like your standard anime protagonist. I want to say maybe when you meet Sanosuke and Zenitsu that might change a little bit, but
I'm sure there are
but not to give too much. Because you're still brand spanking new into Demon Slayer. There are definitely characters much later on, especially in the last season that aired, who have definitely become some of my favorites just because they're so, what's the right word? They're so eccentric.
Sure.
And it's just, and like it's like I latched onto those characters more than I did like the main ones. Like I still like Tanjiro, don't get me wrong, but it's like I care more about these other characters, and the focal point isn't on them; it's on Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke, or Inosuke.
We had a long discussion on like the list of anime that the Bergmans, my friends I'm living with, felt that I should be watching next, and we ultimately landed on Demon Slayer, but it definitely like
we started Demon Slayer, didn't we?
No, that was Jujutsu Kaisen.
Thank you.
There are some similarities in that. Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm really glad you brought up though. Like, the thing about Jujutsu for me is that it's playing with a lot of the same fire of shonen stuff that Demon Slayer is doing, except that the main character is right away different from your standard shonen protagonist and someone I enjoy. And like I was just saying to Ben, like I'm 5 episodes into Demon Slayer, and I think it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm coming from Hunter x Hunter and My Hero Academia and being like, yo, the character writing in that is like really solid, and then come over here to Demon Slayer and I'm like, this is all right. There's really cool art going on and good design style, but like the character wise, I'm like, I'm sure we'll get somewhere. Nobody's grabbing me yet.
Yeah, I would definitely say even the early effects with Tanjiro's water breathing, there's still some of the most stunning and beautiful animation I've seen in a long time.
Yes, I do think that you should watch Land of the Lustrous. Okay. I do think that the art animation with the water stuff, even though I've barely seen like a lot of it, I've seen some, is good. I do think that's a good animation thing. There's a lot of, like I said, art-wise, visual, a lot of great stuff in Demon Slayer. Mm-hmm. Writing wise is where I'm like, this is, and from my understanding, like for the most part, it will stay a little basic, and that's fine. The other thing is I also finished Mob Psycho 100 season 2. That is, if you guys forgot from the last time I talked about finishing season 1, the other project from the author of One Punch Man, which is much more the one that he's like, I've dedicated a lot of thought to this. That's an incredible show, just like amazing. So I don't want to give too much away, so I'm not gonna like lay too hard on this, but there's like there's just this incredible moment. So like Mob is 1000% the strongest person on the planet psychically. Mm-hmm. He just is. And like, but he's not really into using it to fight people. But when shit hits the fan in season 2, there's this organization of guys who are like, they are making their moves to now take over the world with their psychic powers because they truly believe that nobody on the planet can challenge them. They're the top of the heap. And then all of a sudden Mob walks onto the scene. And like when he walks into the area, like one of the dudes had just been saying like, we can't be touched. Why wouldn't we take over the world? And then all of a sudden he senses Mob, and Mob is already like kind of engaged. And so he's like, oh, what? And then he's so distracted by this, and he's like using his senses to sense any psychics around him, that in that same moment, this dude who Mob works for, who's just a fake psychic, who uses Mob, and he has no powers, but Mob thinks that he has powers, and so he refers to him as Master. Comes up and just lays 100 punches onto the guy, normal human punches that the guy just didn't see coming. And so he's like, what? How did that happen? I didn't even sense this guy. And then Mob's like, oh, Master, you're here. And so this dude is translating this normal human being as, I can't even read this guy, and his student is insane. This man must be crazy. And he's just like, I'm out. And like, it's so good. And like, it's such a good bit that they've used very well of like, villains just don't get, because the most powerful person they've ever encountered refers to this normal human man that's Master. They're all like, he's just hiding his shit. Oh shit. And so they're just like psyched out of their minds. Guys, it's such a funny show. It's so good. I highly recommend it. I think all total it's about 25, 26 episodes for both season 1 and 2 together, and that's all that's out right now. Y'all, it's really good. Like if you like anything about One Punch Man, you should be watching Mob Psycho 100. It's so fantastic.
I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who would win, Saitama or Ultra Instinct Goku?
Look, the reality is it's Saitama. And I say this because
Instinct Goku can't be touched.
Buddy, I've read the
That's his
manga.
power.
Buddy, I've read the manga. Ultra Instinct Goku can be touched.
That's fair. I'm not caught up.
Yeah, here's the thing. I will always, regardless of it, I will always say, like, if you say who wins, Saitama or this, I will always say Saitama. And the reason is because he's literally created to be that person. He's literally created to be the character that it's like, no, it's him. And he does it in one punch. That's his whole thing. He is a character created to be unbeatable.
I didn't mean to stir up anything. I was only thinking because as far as I know, Ultra Instinct is dodging without thinking. Yeah. Goku's body just moves. So if Saitama goes in for a punch, he couldn't land one on Goku because that's what the point of Ultra Instinct.
Sure.
That's what I was thinking.
I hear you. Whis could still beat Goku though.
Good point.
So like, that's what I mean is like everybody always lives by power scales, and Saitama's whole point is that your power scale doesn't matter. Yeah. It just doesn't. Like somehow Saitama would not be able to be killed by Zeno-sama. Like somehow he just wouldn't. Like it's just he's the guy. He is the guy who's just like, no, he just wins. That's just how it goes. He's written to be that character, and I'm fine with that. All right, it's a good shtick.
I didn't mean to stir up anything.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You didn't. It's just a thing where I'm not upset about it. I just think. I think that it's funny. It's more me projecting when I see other people get like actually angry.
Sure.
And kind of being like, guys, that's literally why he exists. He exists to put an end to the who would win between Saitama and Super? It's Saitama. Like he exists to end the argument. That's his whole thing. The guy made the character so that he would just be boop, done, over. It's it.
Saitama can solo Goku.
Saitama could solo the entirety of the Dragon Ball universe. That's the whole thing. He can take them all.
Because knowing that, so this is my stupid brain thinking, but knowing absolutely. That, I was like, well, obviously any Super Saiyan form or Kaioken form can be beaten by Saitama, absolutely, because it's one punch. But because I have not read further than.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read some of the Moro arc, but he hasn't been able to hit Ultra Instinct since the tournament. As far as I'm where I'm at. Yeah. And it's like the idea is that Ultra Instinct is supposed to dodge without thinking. And so I was like, oh, that'd be an interesting matchup because if Saitama can't land that punch, then what would happen,
Right. Yeah.
Then be a draw.
That's a good point.
Because this is also the whole thing. Like this is actually kind of fun. So this is the whole thing is that Saitama, you can't let Goku do that, right? Because Goku stops being an interesting character if Goku can literally just never be beaten.
Right.
Saitama is an interesting character because the point isn't about Saitama being able to beat anybody. The point is about everything he is besides that. And he's a character designed that way. And that's why he's an interesting character to have and to watch. And Goku's not designed that way. Goku's designed to always push past his limits and have to meet the next challenge. If Goku can't meet a next challenge, then Goku has no point as a character. So that's really what it is that Saitama works because Saitama is interesting regardless of the fact that he can never be beaten. And Goku wouldn't be.
Well, stay tuned for our review of Dragon Ball Super Superhero coming next week.
All right, my summer of anime continues. I am done. Go ahead.
It is going to be very interesting to log on Twitter tomorrow.
Okay. Why? Because of me?
No, just every time someone says, "Oh, who can be who in a fight?" Twitter, the Twitter comments are just
nobody watches this show, Ben. Anyway,
my mama watches this show.
All right, so I don't have a lot. So I'll start with I started The Amazing World of Gumball this morning.
Sparks, are you okay?
What are you doing to me?
Very good.
Oh, although speaking of good things, cool things that got in the mail, guess what showed up this week?
Oh, yeah. I got that too.
Yeah.
Mine showed up at a different location, but I do have it as well. It's the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Steelbook, folks. It's super sick.
Yeah, because Sparks straight up told me, he sent me the link. He's like, "Hey, do you have enough money to buy this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I do." He's like, "Good, buy it."
I did not, and so I texted Sparks and I said, "Hey, want to do me a favor?" And then I immediately regretted it, but Sparks, being the kind person he is, had already done it.
Everybody should have the best video game ever made on that beautiful steelbook.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Anyway, I'm super happy that you started watching Amazing World of Gumball. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Literally amazing.
I wasn't sure what to watch today, and I was like, yeah, I got time to kill. We're recording at an awkward time for me because I'm like, it's early. It's too early to start. Like, it was too early or too late to start something. So I was like, Amazing World of Gumball is only 11-minute episodes. I could blow through a bunch of those. It's great. It's wonderful. As you always have told me, it's such a lovable show, and absolutely my humor. There is a as you know, some people have diagnosis as an ADHD thing, but as you may or may not know, some humor works for me when it's unpredictable, when it's like the super, like, Master Chicken is always the thing I go to. Is like, no one expects a long shot of a little chicken. Very funny to me.
Yes.
From Kung Fu Panda 3. So it's the unpredictability of humor, the bigness, the boldness of humor that really just gets me, and that's pretty much all Gumball.
Yes.
That's the entirety of the show.
Yes, 100%.
There's a bit, such a small bit, but it's like the dad had washed the clothes. It's the episode where Gumball has to wear a wedding dress.
Yes.
And the dad had washed all the clothes, and he's reaching up on the wardrobe to get clothes for Gumball because he can't go to school naked, and he's holding onto it after Gumball leaves, and he's just like, wow, I'm really surprised that the wardrobe hasn't fallen yet. And then it starts to shake. It's like, oh no, and then it stops for a beat, and then the door swings open and he flies out the window. That was so funny.
Yes. Gumball regularly zigs when you expect it to zag.
I'm only a few episodes in, but I really like it. There's a lot of episodes, so it's going to take me a bit, but I'm happy I started it.
I'm so pleased. This is wonderful news. I love it.
I knew you'd be happy about this. Ben, have you seen Amazing World of Gumball?
Oh, I've seen episodes. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I've definitely seen episodes. I watched a lot of episodes when I was in college, actually. And
interesting. I've seen a lot through TikTok.
I've seen clips of TikTok. I've seen definitely a lot of clips through Instagram.
People are very people on TikTok and Instagram like sharing the Gumball as gay scenes. Anyway, I also watched a bit of anime. Besides Amazing World of Gumball, I watched Dragon Ball Z BoJack Unbound. I figured, I was like, superheroes coming up, should probably step on the gas a bit to watch these movies.
Watch the one other anime movie that was about Gohan.
Yeah. I wasn't crazy about BoJack as a villain. One of I struggle a lot with the movie villains specifically because I think even in hindsight with Cooler, because like I like Cooler as a kid, but like kind of going back to it, there's not really much to him outside of he's just Frieza again. There's a lot of villains that are just, oh, we've seen this, but more interesting on Dragon Ball Z already.
Yes. And
so like a lot of the villains, whereas they kind of have these cool like ideas around them, they're not really all there. They're not really all formed as like concepts, and that's been a struggle for me. I think interestingly enough, Broly gets the closest to being a fully formed villain.
Yeah, because they wanted to play a lot with the concept of the legend.
Yeah.
And just I think you get, even if it's like crumbs, and it is, you get just a little bit more sense of Saiyan history and Saiyan lore, and that's something.
Yeah.
Like Cooler would have been better if Cooler gave you more insight on like Frieza's family and like King Cold and like the hierarchy of how they existed in the galaxy, but it doesn't do that.
No, you're right. And then even the second time we meet Cooler, it's kind of less interesting.
Yeah.
And
outside of like some genuinely sick ass action scenes with Goku and Vegeta fighting side by side as Super Saiyans, which is notable only because it was the first time it had ever happened.
Right. But Vegeta shows up so randomly in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Halfway through the movie, he just like, I'm here now.
Look, honestly, all of the Dragon Ball Z films that have been adapted by the Team 4-Star team are superior in that format.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what else do I want to say about some of these movies? Garlic Jr. was kind of an interesting villain, actually, thinking back on him, because there is a lot of history there, because his father was meant to be the Guardian of Earth before Kami showed up. And so like that was kind of cool. But outside of that, like Turles and Lord Slug are just King Piccolo and Vegeta again.
Garlic Jr. is interesting because he evolved from being a Pilaf clone.
Yeah.
And then they made him more interesting.
Yeah.
But like he was going to be Pilaf again. That's what they were doing initially. Yeah. And then so was Dr. Slump. Dr. Slump also was kind of unique in his own way. Like it's almost Gero before Gero. Yeah,
that's a good point. But then you get like Android 13. It's just Android 18 and 17 again. Just less interesting. And so like BoJack. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say great character designs. Lots of great character designs all the time, because Toriyama would design these characters and then say, "All right, I guess here for your movie."
Cooler is a great character design. I really like that fourth form.
I think Cooler's color scheme is better than Frieza's.
Yeah, personally. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think that's also why I like Fridge.
Oh God, I don't know.
From the the tournament guy.
Yeah. Frost.
Yeah, I think that's also why I like him, because I like his color scheme as well.
Frost is cool. Frost, when he shows up in Super, is a good use of that type.
Yeah. Frost, by the way, Ben, because I know you haven't seen Super, right? Yeah. Frost is basically like a parallel universe version of Frieza.
But when he's introduced, you learn that he's the like hero of his universe. And so like everyone's like, oh God, it's gonna be like a Frieza thing again. And it's like, no, he's like the champion who saves everyone in his universe.
And he like him and Goku like each other. Huh. It's really cool.
So he wouldn't kick Vegeta in the dick.
Well, there's a bit more to the character.
I won't say more, but I will say that it's an interesting setup that you should watch.
Yeah.
All right.
So BoJack, as far as I can tell, doesn't really have an analog to Dragon Ball Z. But I find the concept of the four Kais came together and trapped him, and then Cell destroying King Kai's planet, freed him, that to be kind of cool. But then it just kind of, he shows up very late in the movie and then only spouts one-liners while he's beating up the Z fighters, and I'm like, yeah, all right, sure.
Truly, and I'm sure it's a point you're going to get to, that like the only value really in BoJack Unbound is the concept of like this being Gohan's first test of being like Earth's protector post Goku's death in the Cell games.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. The benefit of this is its placement where Z was at the time, which is it's after the Cell game. So Goku's dead and Gohan is the hero of Earth now. Leading. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wish Toriyama would like be willing to go backwards in time and like fill in story things, because like if he wanted to make a movie like this, like just forget BoJack, because he already says forget the canon of those old movies anyway, and tell a story about Gohan's first test post Goku. I feel like that would be really cool.
Me too.
We're just in a different age of like anime film than what they were at the time.
With Dragon Ball, one of the things that was interesting about Dragon Ball is that, and I watched a lot of Totally Not Marked, which is, so this kind of has informed a lot of my opinion of what I'm about to say, which is that Dragon Ball, once Master Roshi is introduced in the story, it kind of becomes the story of how Goku becomes the hero of Earth and takes over from Master Roshi. Mm-hmm. Essentially, Dragon Ball is about Goku taking over Master Roshi's role and on Earth.
Right.
And then Goku, then Dragon Ball Z is kind of set up to be that for Gohan,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's not. And that
Right.
always is kind of strange. Like, I know the Buu Saga was always supposed to be the thing, and it was always blah, blah, blah. But it always felt strange to me that we set up the end of Gohan's arc so well at the end of the Cell Saga, and then he just becomes a joke because Goku comes back into play. And I kind of feel like maybe that wasn't the play. Maybe Goku probably never should have come back into the fray.
I feel like it's not the Buu Saga that made Gohan the joke. It was honestly it was GT.
Yeah.
Because in Z, he still tries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and he gets close to beating Buu. They just want Goku and Vegeta to take the spotlight. And honestly, arguably, as they probably should. Because I think the one flaw in the Gohan taking up the mantle position for the future of Z is sidelining Vegeta.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And I think that there is an amount of like recognizing the show is Goku and Vegeta.
Mm-hmm.
As much as like you're right, and Z is building to that arc of Gohan, and like Gohan has his place. Goku and Vegeta are like a pinnacle that it's hard to just take away, and it's hard to imagine Vegeta working without Goku.
That's a good point. As always. But anyway, so BoJack Unbound works very well because it allows Gohan to be the hero of the movie. And there is a moment actually that played very well for me. And I wasn't sure if it would, because this is my first time watching it. But there's a moment where Goku basically wills himself back to life for a second to do a last minute save for Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's framed, at least in our dub, as him being so angry that his son is in trouble and he can't do anything about it. He wills himself so hard to save his son. It's a really powerful moment for Goku that I really dug. And then the rest of the movie, Goku is off the table, and and Gohan is able to be the hero, and that was really cool. And I'm kind of sad that it's really taken until now to get another one of those.
Right.
Because Superhero is going to be a Gohan movie.
Yeah. It'll be cool to see what Toriyama brings to it now, and what he's willing to do with it. I'm looking at the BoJack Goku saves Gohan moment right now just to remind myself what it was, because I have not watched this movie in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. That is cool.
Yeah, isn't it? And he just wills himself back to life.
Yeah, that's cute. I can imagine the impact of that for an audience that especially at the time was just reeling from Goku dying.
Yeah. And a lot of the movie has to do with that, and so there's this really great thing because Trunks is not supposed to be there. Future Trunks is not supposed to be in this timeline. But then after Trunks beat the androids and came back and told us, he decided to do a tournament with us, and we're like, yeah, all right, whatever.
That's how it goes.
I agree with you now, Sparks. Though now that you brought that up, that I wish the Toriyama would go backwards and do at least a canon movie set between the Cell Saga and the Buu Saga.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I feel like that'd be cool. We're just in a different we're in a different age, and I'm like, there probably are pockets we could explore in Dragon Ball history instead of only exploring where we're at right now.
Yeah, but
not that we have to.
But we're not. We're jumping to the future for Superhero. Anyway, the final thing I want to talk about. I was not prepared for that Dragon Ball thing to go so long. That was cool. I like that. Predator. Marvel's Predator comic dropped this week, and kind of a fun synergy with Prey. Who's talking in the background? That's
Ben? That's on Ben.
Ben. Oh, well. So I decided. So I picked it up, and I'm a big Predator mood right now. So I was like, oh, reading it right now. So I read it, and it's pretty much a setup issue, but I do think it's setting up something really interesting. Basically, the story is about a young girl whose entire colony is set in the future. Her colony was wiped out by a predator, with 3 mandibles, and now
on another planet.
Yeah,
gotcha.
It's like a human colony on a different planet set in the future.
Gotcha.
And the predator doesn't kill her because she's a child, and she escapes and spends the next 10 years hunting and killing predators.
Mm.
And we meet her kind of at the tail end of that, where she's like closing in on the three mandibled predator.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really into that idea. It's not quite the idea that I want to see from Predator, because quite honest, I'm not really too sure what I want to see from Predator right now. I just know it's more Predator. But it's setting up an interesting concept that I think could go into some pretty interesting places. And I like the idea of this girl having trained herself to hunt predators and use their weaponry and use their armor. And I think that's a really cool idea. So I'm very interested to where it could go. And like I said, it's a setup issue. So it's really like, maybe 2 or 3 issues to get up and running. But I think it could be pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked about that.
Nice.
That's my week.
Cool.
Who wants to do what? Who wants to go into the bread and butter?
Absolutely. Let's do it. Yum,
All
yum,
right.
yum, 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 yum.
Ben, are you going to be muted for the rest of the episode?
No, I'm not going to be muted for the rest of the episode.
Okay. Sad news up top. Anne Heche passed away at the age of 53 due to brain damage and burns sustained from a car crash that happened last week. For those of you who probably don't recognize the name, she's the lead in Volcano. She's the female lead in Volcano. Great movie. For you nerds out there, she was Toph's youngest daughter in The Legend of Korra.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she was also one of the first out actors. She was dating Ellen DeGeneres ages ago in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. She's got a good body of work behind her. It's unfortunate that she had the accident she did, regardless of if that was, due to. It's not clear. I know that they're doing drug tests, but if she was under the influence of something that caused the accident or not.
Yeah,
it doesn't appear to be a vehicular malfunction.
53 though, that's too young.
Yeah, it's still unfortunate regardless. Just an awful. I know they were saying pretty quickly last week that they were just they didn't think she was going to pull through.
Mm-hmm.
Still unfortunate to see.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I didn't really know her until I read the rundown sheet today that she was the voice on Avatar on Legend of Korra. And I'm like, man, that sucks because I really liked that character too. So
yeah. And then Olivia Newton-John.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to say much about her. She is an incredible singer. Grease. She passed away at the age of 73. Cancer.
Yeah.
She's been battling cancer for 3 times now. She's had cancer. And she's been battling it off and on for years. And I finally caught up with her.
Yeah. Good long life.
Yeah. I really liked Olivia Newton-John. That sucks.
Yeah, it is a big bummer.
Yeah, sadly I don't have much to say about Olivia Newton-John either. I just know her from Grease, and that's it.
She's quite honestly the only thing I like in Grease. I'm not a big Grease fan.
I don't like Grease at all.
Oh, do you not? I really like Olivia Newton-John though. I think she's really fun in that role.
I never even seen Grease all the way through. I've seen snippets. I mean, of course, they when the news broke, they played Summer Lovin' on the radio. But at the same time, I don't know why Grease has always been one of those musicals that people say it's like, oh, you have to see it. But then it's just that the more
movie musicals before the 80s were not good.
Okay.
Period.
I will say I don't have a lot of affinity for her career. I respect her place culturally, and she's in Face Off for an extent of it. Yeah, not not an overly large chunk because it's just not about her. But sorry, I lost my thought for a second. I respect where she belonged in the culture. As far as I'm concerned, the only thing that I really ever saw that I remember liking her in, and it's in a goofy way, and I haven't seen it in a long time, is Xanadu.
What's Xanadu?
It's a 1980 kind of musical movie. It's very 1980, and it's her and I think Gene Kelly's in it. I'm gonna look it up.
Be an older Gene Kelly.
Yes, it is an older Gene Kelly. It's a part of the point is that he's old. Yeah, Gene Kelly is in it. It's, let me see, American musical fantasy film. Yeah. Anytime you hear like a song referencing Xanadu, it's this.
Interesting.
It's pretty hokey. It's not super good, but I enjoyed it more than Grease personally. So it's the only thing that ever stood out for me that like, I liked her in that.
She was a singer more than she was an actor.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, I saw some of her live performances online. I've not actually seen her live, but I always thought she was a great performer.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we move on?
Yes.
Well, guys, a new Kung Fu Panda film is on the way.
Oh, finally, they're continuing the 10-part Kung Fu Panda saga. Is that what they said back in the day?
Is that really what they said today?
Did they? I don't remember them saying that.
Oh yeah, like way back, like DreamWorks had that whole like we see Blank as a this level amount of franchise, and like Kung Fu Panda they projected as like 10 parts. How to Train Your Dragon I think was 5 at the time.
Oh wow.
This is when they were like really forward thinking. The Puss in Boots was supposed to be like a trilogy.
I do remember that.
A lot of what they predicted about Madagascar, I think, came to pass. But yeah, I'm pretty sure like they said 7 or 10 or something for Kung Fu Panda back in the day. I wonder if I can find that. That's old.
So bold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does that include the TV shows?
It wouldn't include the TV shows because a different department makes those shows.
Oh, okay.
You can tell because they don't talk to each other. The shows,
Yeah.
the shows and the movies. The How to Train Your Dragon shows just don't. The movies don't adhere to the shows. And then sometimes they're just not even in the right continuity. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, so a 4th Kung Fu Panda film is on the horizon. It's going to be coming out on March 8th, 2024. I thought this was interesting because of the show that's currently airing with Jack Black. I wonder, obviously, this is an animated movie, so this would have been in production for a while now. I wonder if this is why Jack Black did the show, because he was already developing this movie.
It could be that. Other than that,
Sparks is shaking his head.
Oh,
Sparks sorry, I was letting Ben talk.
No. I had a train of thought. Where to go? Oh,
I'm so sorry.
I haven't seen Kung Fu Panda 3, so I don't know how that movie ended.
Oh, we got
it. Yeah, I don't know why. I only seen 2. I've only seen the second one. I've never seen the first one.
I found
it. I think Kung Fu Panda is a very solid trilogy. All 3 movies are very good. The second one is great.
I agree.
I think that I'm 100% on board for a 4th film. But you said you found it, Sparks.
I'm super interested in if and I hope that they'll do some interesting animation stuff like what they're doing with the new Puss in Boots and the bad guys. If Kung Fu Panda's going to do that, that'll be great. I just hope it's a good story and a good team behind it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want like a bad Kung Fu Panda sequel now that we've had a solid trilogy. And I'll be honest, 3 did kind of end in a good place. I'm hesitant to want them to go further.
Yeah, I can understand that. I also thought 3 ended in a good place.
Okay, so back in 2010, Jeffrey Katzenberg revealed his plans for DreamWorks Animation going forward. He said Kung Fu Panda actually has 6 chapters to it, and we've mapped that out over the years.
Someone dug that out of storage.
How to Train Your Dragon is at least 3, maybe more, but we know there are at least 3 chapters to that story. There are actually 8 books, but right now today we know that there are 3 for sure.
Okay, that happened.
He said, so today I can tell you pretty succinctly where Madagascar goes. Ultimately, they will come back to New York, and they will come to terms with that, which they will do in the next chapter. Because of the way that movie concludes, there's probably one more for them. Yeah, there's probably a fourth Madagascar there.
That never
But yeah,
happened.
so it wasn't 10. That was too exaggeratory, but it was 6.
Wait, Madagascar 4 didn't happen?
It did not happen, or am I misremembering? I could swore there's only
I'm
3
looking.
Madagascar.
You keep going. You keep going,
I've got it.
Sparks. I'll look it up.
I'm on it. Madagascar 4 was supposed to be the 4th and last entry in the Madagascar franchise. However, production was halted, and it was removed from its May 18, 2018 release date schedule. Nothing else has happened with it.
That's when
There
they were
was supposed to
sold.
be one last one. Yeah.
That's when they were sold. That's when Puss in Boots 2 also fell by the wayside.
So yeah, but Katzenberg said so it wasn't 10 but 6 Kung Fu Panda chapters. And I remember having that in the back of my head when Kung Fu Panda 3 came out, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like you're good.
When someone digging through the archives of DreamWorks going, we were supposed to make 6? Quickly, let's make the 4th one.
I mean, at least How to Train Your Dragon ended with 3, because I thought the ending with Kung Fu Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon.
By the way, Kung Fu Dragon is a show I would watch.
I would totally watch it too. At the end of Dragons, or the Dragon films, I like where they ended. I was okay with that ending.
I'm okay with some of it.
We have a podcast where we talked about it.
We do. We have a podcast where we talk about that.
We disagree.
Yeah. You know, Kung Fu Panda films have always had some delightfully great villains. Some of the best villains in all of cinema, quite honestly.
Gary Oldman.
I hope the 4th one. Wait, are we just gonna name villain actors?
Sorry,
Ian McShane, J.K. Simmons. I think that the 4th film, if it continues that trend of just having a very great villain, that's gonna be awesome.
I agree. I'm optimistic. I do feel like more than likely this is less about Jack Black doing the show. I'm sure that might have like spurred them wanting to connect with him more, but I think this is probably fueled by, honestly, whether it's misguided or not, and I don't think it is, but like I don't think this is where we should take our lesson. Film Twitter talking about, and it has been increasingly talking about the action scenes in the Kung Fu Panda films over the past year. I've noticed this.
Yeah.
It comes up a lot that people are talking about. You know, the Kung Fu Panda films, especially the first one, pretty sick, guys. And I do think that they're kind of like, oh, people really like Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah. I'm happy with that because like there's also you read out that thing. There was a moment when I always talk about DreamWorks' golden age, which was basically between How to Train Your Dragon and How to Train Your Dragon 3, and that 10-year period, what I believe to be DreamWorks' golden age, where they put out just some great movies. And when they were sold, I believe, to Universal in 2018, a lot of those that golden age was abruptly stopped because a lot of movies that they were in production of, like Puss in Boots 2, and one more, I don't remember, but it wasn't Madagascar 4. I just found out about that. But it abruptly stopped that golden age, and so now I'm kind of feeling like, okay, maybe DreamWorks is trying to instigate another one. We got Puss in Boots 2, which looks really great. The Bad Guys, which was really great. Kung Fu Panda 4 could be great. Like maybe DreamWorks is really trying to push through. Maybe try to.
I don't know.
Lately, go for that golden age.
I don't know if I'll call this a golden age, but I won't say you're totally far off. Not everything in here is a hit.
I didn't mean to insinuate that I thought everything was a hit, because Boss Baby's in that era too.
I know.
I mean to say that like there was a lot more good than there wasn't.
Yeah. There's like 3 Madagascars in here that I just question if they ever needed to exist. So like those numbers are a little, but I hear you. Like the Kung Fu Pandas and the How to Train Your Dragons at that time, and you get like the Croods and Rise of the Guardians. Megamind that was in that period. They're all cool, but then you also have like Home and Turbo, which I'm not saying they're bad. They just didn't leave any impression either. And so like it's there's a lot of mixed bag, I think, going on here. Yeah, interesting. I'm just looking at what DreamWorks has. So DreamWorks Animation right now. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. DreamWorks Animation right now, they have so their next thing after Puss in Boots is going to be Trolls 3, which I have not seen the first 2 Trolls, so I can't really speak to.
Trolls 2's okay.
Then they have something that's going to come before Kung Fu Panda 4, but they haven't announced it. Literally like 1 month before next in 2024. And then another thing in September of 2024.
Wow, interesting.
But those 2 things are not named.
Yeah, I'd like to see DreamWorks deliver some great stuff. And I've been, like I said, Bad Guys is awesome.
Oh, hey, Brandon. They made a short for Bad Guys. That's with the physical release.
Oh, interesting.
I just saw that.
Okay. How much you want to bet one of those unnamed movies is Rise of the Guardians 2? They're finally going to do it.
No.
I know.
As much as I want them to, they're not going to do it.
I do think Kung Fu Panda is maybe their only thing they have right now with like absolute guarantee franchise potential, or like able to make more sequels. I don't think any of their IP they have like a guaranteed box office with right now to return to. Not even Puss in Boots. Like I'm excited about that Puss in Boots movie. They don't have a guarantee that audience is there. Not yet. Yeah. When that movie comes out, if it does well, then yeah, maybe. But right now, no, they don't.
The Croods 2. The Croods 2 was shelved because of the merger and then brought back.
Right, that's true.
That's why you saw Puss in Boots and the Croods New Age. They have different creative teams in the first film because that's why those movies are canceled initially.
You're right. I still wonder if they're ever going to follow through on that threat to remake Shrek.
Be the first ever remade animated film.
Yeah, that's wild. It's wild to think about that they want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm surprised that discussion lasted so long, but that was fun.
There's interesting things to be said.
Ben, Iron.
Do you love DreamWorks animation? You excited about Kung Fu Panda 4?
I need to watch the other ones. I mean,
you do.
At first I hear Kung Fu Panda 4. I have no ill will against Kung Fu Panda. I really love Kung Fu Panda.
No, he just stole your wife.
What?
You have no ill will against the man who stole your wife, Kung Fu Panda.
Shit was my wife. I want to hear the rest of your thought, Ben. Go ahead.
No. I really want to hear a fourth one. I'm like, okay, cool. And I've only seen the second one, but it's like, okay, I gotta watch the other two whenever I get a chance.
I remember that I was hesitant to watch the first one for a while because I thought it was, on the surface, it looked like it was fat phobic, and I had no interest in that. I still think it rides that line a little bit, but it's a better movie than it is that feature.
Sure. I had no interest in watching it because I, outside of Shrek, didn't care for any of the DreamWorks films.
Yeah, a lot of the DreamWorks films, especially after Shrek, when I saw the trailers, I was like, I don't know. This looks too. It feels like.
Specifically, the 3D. Real quickly, Ben. Specifically, the 3D, because Road to El Dorado came out before Shrek. That was one of their few 2D animated films, and that movie rules.
Prince of Egypt too. Don't forget that one.
I don't really care for that one.
I like that one a lot. Even with the religious tone, I still think that movie is a feast for the eyes.
Religion makes me feel icky.
Yeah, no, it makes me feel icky too. But you're right. Road to El Dorado, fantastic movie. What else? But yeah, a lot of DreamWorks 3D stuff, especially after Shrek 2. I don't know. I just felt like, this is going to be way too kiddie for me. This is going to be way too... I'm probably not going to enjoy this. And then I watched the first Madagascar film, and I thought that was hilarious. And then even with Kung Fu Panda 2, I see Kung Fu Panda, I'm like, yeah, this has got kids movie written all over it. I don't know why it just feels like I'm not going to enjoy this. And then years later, I get dragged to go see Kung Fu Panda 2, and I'm like, I'm not going to understand anything. Then I'm like, never mind, this movie rules.
Wait, it's about a peacock killing all the pandas?
Yeah, what the shit?
It's a good movie. I like Kung Fu Panda. I've been itching to rewatch the Kung Fu Panda films lately. Maybe this will make me do it. All right. Shall we move on?
Yes.
Sure. Ironheart has a new cast member, cool. Zoe Turakis. I apologize if I butchered that. They are a non-binary transgendered actor, and they have been cast in an undisclosed role.
Cool.
So, Disney Plus news outside of Ironheart. Disney Plus apparently will be launching an ad-supported tier for $7.99. It's going to be called Disney Plus Basic. Now that sounds interesting because $7.99 is the current price of Disney Plus.
Uh-oh.
Disney Plus will be renamed Disney Plus Premium and will now be $10.99, and that'll be the ad-free tier. Why can't we have nice things?
JPEG. His name is Bob Chapek, and he wants all the money in your wallet.
Damn you, Bob Chapek, you son of a bitch.
He's not Zaslav, but he's no Iger either.
Definitely.
No. I gotta tell you, when you make Bob Iger look like a good person, you're pretty bad.
You know, I have a tangent. I gotta go on this tangent real quick because
I'll mute myself.
So freaking I saw a TikTok recently, and I have, and in my guts telling me it's true, because my girlfriend is been aching to try and find out any news on the Magic Key renewals. You know, like the new Disney passes that they haven't told any news about. Apparently, the reason why Disneyland hasn't given any ideas or any news on whether or not people can renew their Magic Keys is because they found out that the number of Magic Key guests that they have outweighs the number of regular guests they have, and according to Disney, the more regular guests are the ones who spend the more money, i.e. the ones who travel from out of state to spend money at the hotel. People will spend more on Genie Plus. They'll spend more on the merchandise. And the way they see it is like, well, if we don't have Magic Key holders, more people will show up. But at the same time, it's like, but it's because of the Magic Key holders that they will still go buy the merchandise, buy money for the food, and do all this other stuff. So, yeah.
I'm going to say that this is all conjecture and hyperbole. We don't know exactly why.
You're right.
That is one person's guess. Another probably logical guess, and it could be a combination of both, who knows, is because there is currently a lawsuit happening that went forward with Disney, which is because a pass holder who lived here in California was not able to go to the parks, even though they had the top tier of the Magic Key pass holder. They could not get a reservation, but if they were a regular person going and asking to make a reservation that day, they could have, and they sued Disney over it. And it's still going forward because that has been decided that is a solid lawsuit. So that's part of it too, because if that lawsuit goes all the way forward, it could result in damages, which would mean that every person who has a Magic Key pass hold would be able to say, hey, I also suffered from this, and get money back from Disney. So both of those things are on the table. So nobody knows exactly why they're not doing it, but both of these things are happening.
Yeah, because there's been a meme going around on Magic Key holder Twitter and Instagram, because Disneyland's putting up like, hey, here's the stuff for Halloween, for Christmas, enjoy the holidays. And there's like a Nick Cage meme. The Nick Cage meme was like, oh really, when can I go, Disney? Because Magic Key holder, because during the holidays like Halloween, Christmas, that's like some of the highest times for people who want to go to Disneyland, because you have all the Halloween merch, you have all the Christmas and the holiday merch. They want to go during those times because the parks are decorated to high heaven. So the fact that people want to go who can't go, who have these passes, and they're like, we are willing to give you the money, and they're still not doing anything about it.
So back to Disney Plus.
Yeah, back to Disney. Anyways, yeah, screw you, Bob Chapek. Back to Disney Plus. Sorry.
Bob Paycheck. Yeah.
Bob Paycheck.
Oh.
I look, I don't make a lot of money right now. Disney Plus was a very good deal, and I admit that when it first launched for $6.99, I was shocked. We all were. We were like, "Wow, you could have charged more." I
wasn't shocked. I was like, "This is smart. They get everybody this way. They're the cheapest streaming service out there. Everybody will get it."
And I don't like the idea of being downgraded to ads. So, come on, Chapek, what are you doing to me? I don't make a lot of money right now, Booba.
Yeah, it also depends on how they do their ads, because some, like, I know for some.
Oh, so it's 15. So it's 30 seconds. So it's 30 seconds at the top of the movie or show, and it will be for originals. And I don't know, and they might be the way they do Hulu for movies, because Hulu has an interesting way to do movies that I really don't like. But it's gonna be 30 seconds at top, and then incrementally it'll go from 15 seconds and then down throughout the program.
Yeah, I don't like that approach, because when I watched How to Train Your Dragon, I watched it for free on Amazon with ads, and it was like, just like, it was kind of like a Disney original movie where they would put ad breaks in like certain parts of the movie, but then as the movie went on, there was more and more ad breaks, and I was like, this is annoying.
I have to check something, but that means you didn't watch it on Amazon. You watched it on a different service.
Probably watched it on like IMDb TV through Amazon or something.
It was something because it was available for free through Amazon.
Freebie.
That's it.
Freebie. It was IMDb TV. They changed it to Freebie.
Okay.
I've talked about them before because I watched True Lies on that app, and True Lies had the worst ad breaks because what Freebie does is they place ad breaks randomly. And so when I was watching True Lies, I've talked about what I talked about when I watched that movie. They will do a punt. They will set up the joke, and then an ad will happen, and then the punchline will hit after the ad, and that's because they're not breaking when the film is structured to have ad breaks.
That's the worst. Yeah, just
own your media, kids.
There you go. That's the message here. I should make a shirt with you, Sparks. Here, where it's like, don't be a dick, but it's you.
I look way less. I look way less friendly than Ben. It's just own your media, kids.
Own your media. For those of you listening, I am wearing the "Don't Be a Dick" T-shirt, which is a huge hit, even though no one's buying it. Anyway, sorry.
It's like kind of an oxymoron in its own way.
Oh yeah, everyone loves this shirt. I wear the shirt a bunch, and I was at the hospital, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're wearing the Don't Be a Dick shirt? Cool." I was like, "Yep, that's one of the 3 shirts I brought with me."
You need to give them the business card right there and be like, "Go buy it."
Right?
Buy it. Go buy it. Go buy it.
My dad bought one.
Oh, good. Yeah. So it's gonna launch on December 8th.
I mean, like, being realistic, this was inevitable.
True.
I'm like, of course, because they've proven that they have the content that's going to make people want to stick with the streaming service. Of course, they're going to raise it a bit. It is what it is. I gotta just kind of throw my hands up and be like, we were gonna get here one way or another.
Yeah. So that's gonna be December 8th. All right. Yep. Five Nights at Freddy's movie, the live-action film coming from Blumhouse. Apparently, this is rumor, but apparently the Jim Henson Company are making puppets for it.
Super into that.
I love that idea.
I get immediately more interested if you tell me that.
Yeah.
If that's true, I'm in. Just the fact that Jim Henson Company makes the puppets for Five Nights at Freddy's, that's perfect. That's like the best.
Ben's ready to get terrified.
Again, yeah.
That I would love to see. I would love to see that because they did. Jim Henson Company did Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, and those puppets are incredible.
They are, and with as big of IP as Five Nights at Freddy's, and with those, they can make those animatronics absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
so good. That's you're right, Sparks. This is like 100% more interested in this movie.
Yeah.
The movie could be absolute garbage. I could go out as like, man, the movie sucked. But those puppets, though, those animatronics, they look great.
They're gonna live in my nightmares.
Yeah. It's like people are gonna be like, so what lives in your mind rent free? And I just hear freaking Freddy Fazbear, Foxy, and Chica just like staring at me going,
yeah, exactly.
Freaking Freddy. Yeah, anyway. Freaking Freddy, Fazbear, Foxy, and Frida?
Chica.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, and you also got Bonnie the Bunny. Don't forget her. That bitch.
I already did. All right. The next entry in the MonsterVerse franchise is filming now. It has been labeled as a direct sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong. Makes sense. There are some plot rumors suggesting that it will be more Kong focused, but Godzilla will be in it, dealing with the Hollow Earth. And the official working title is Origins. Jonathan Banks is the latest person to be cast in the movie. If you don't remember him, he's from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and the 6th season of Community.
Jonathan Banks.
The 5th season of Community. Yeah, the 5th season.
If you saw a picture, you would know him.
Do you remember? Did you ever watch Breaking Bad, Ben?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll recognize this guy. Jonathan Banks, great actor. I like him a lot. But he's going to be in it.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Godzilla's going to come in all Captain Marvel style right at the end, like Endgame.
Yeah.
What are they firing at?
What's interesting is that I didn't picture Godzilla, but after Endgame came out, people put Thomas the Tank Engine over Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
That's what I was remembering.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really happy the MonsterVerse is continuing, and I'm excited to see what this movie is, especially if it's Kong centered. I'm very into that. I want to see more Kong.
I want to see more Godzilla.
We have 3 Godzilla movies, 2.5 Godzilla movies.
We have 2.5 Godzilla movies.
But he wants more.
Yeah, but we're getting a Kong anime.
And we're getting a Godzilla TV show.
We're getting a TV show about Godzilla. Those are...
I know he'll be in it.
I know he'll be in it. It's Apple TV. He ain't gonna be in every episode.
That's true. Anyway, if this is a because like I guess they don't really have the capital to do this, but like the idea would be that you would split them again, do a Godzilla movie, do a Kong movie. But if we're going to just keep doing these dual movies with Godzilla and Kong, one that's slightly more centered on Kong is acceptable to me.
Yeah, I mean that's fine for now.
For now. He's coming for you, MonsterVerse.
When do we get aliens? I want aliens.
We have Ghidorah.
I want alien people.
I want the
weirdos who want to control kaiju.
You want the zillions.
I do.
I want Space Godzilla.
Yeah, I want Mothra to be alive. Anyway,
I want Space Godzilla too.
Well, you know who else I want? Batra.
That's just Mothra, but a bat.
I don't care, but I want it.
Whatever. Do you want Batra or Megaguirus?
Okay, maybe
I want Batra. I don't like Megaguirus. Megaguirus is kind of
nobody does. That's the point.
Wait, which one's Megaguirus again?
You know who should? Go ahead.
You probably never watched it, Ben.
You know who should be in these movies?
Who?
Destroyer.
Yeah.
You gotta kill somebody. You're gonna bring in Destroyer, though.
We already set off the Oxygen Destroyer in King of the Monsters. We've set it up.
I know. But you have to kill somebody if you're gonna do that.
We saw Ghidorah, one of Ghidorah's severed heads. That could become Destroyer.
Yeah, I heard that rumor. That's okay. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that change. I want to see a good MonsterVerse movie. I forgot what I was gonna say. I want to see more MonsterVerse movies, though. I know we can't do it; they don't make enough money. But like,
I want to see a great MonsterVerse movie. That's what I want to see.
There you go. I want to see a Mothra movie. You know, do you want to introduce Batra? Do it in a Mothra movie. Have Mothra come back to life, and she's the star of that movie. And bring in the twins that you set up in King of the Monsters to be the leads.
You know what? I'll amend what I said. It's not really about the fact that I want Godzilla in this movie. It's that I still want other monsters to be showing up, even if it's about Kong.
Yeah.
Whether that's like, I want cool, iconic monsters. Some of them can be new, but I still, like, we don't have to leave the Godzilla universe monsters to, like, Mothra could be in this movie with Kong and not have Godzilla, and I'd be cool with it. That's fine.
I want a Mothra movie now. I've psyched myself up. I'll just be disappointed forever. I'm never going to get a Mothra movie that I just made up.
You want the rebirth of Mothra design where it's got like the X like a jet?
Sure. And this CGI with that upgraded design. Yeah, hell yeah. Just do that. Batra's the villain. The twins of the... Man, guys, I should write movies. All right, anyway. There will be new monsters, obviously, because if we are dealing with the center of the earth, with the Hollow Earth, that'd be a given. I agree, though. I would like to see more of Toho's library in these movies. I don't want to leave them behind.
They can be in the Hollow Earth.
That's right. They could be.
Yeah.
We've already set them up that they basically were supposed to be there.
What if Anguirus is Kong's best friend this time?
Oh, I feel sad about that.
Well, but what if?
But sad. What if I'd be sad?
Well, I'd rather have him in a movie than not have him at all.
You know, it's interesting. His skeleton's in King of the Monsters.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Maybe he died waiting for his friend. I made myself sad.
Jesus.
All right.
Shall we move on instead of making Brandon sad?
Tom Cruise. I made myself sad twice because of I'm not getting the Mothra movie I made up, and I killed Anguirus. All right.
Did it.
All right. Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Tom
I've
Cruise
heard
is
of him.
he was in the news a bit this week. I don't know if you heard that.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise basically talked about what they want to do together after Mission Impossible 9, 8,
7. 6.
No, because 7's part 1.
5.
No.
4.
This message will self-destruct in. So they talked about. So I want to bring up some of these because there are three big entries that I thought were kind of cool, and I'd be down to see all of them because I like Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise. I think they work really well together.
I know. After this, they should just get married.
Right. He and Christopher McQuarrie are going to develop a song and dance type musical for Tom Cruise to star in. If you remember, learned how. Go ahead.
Can Tom sing?
He learned how to sing for Rock of Ages.
He did.
That's true.
And
I stand by my question.
Apparently, he's been wanting to do another musical because of Rock of Ages ever since.
There's a big difference between singing in a film jukebox musical.
Yeah, I know. And this one's meant to be like more traditional. And look, if the man can learn how to fly a helicopter, he can learn how to sing.
There are some things you just can't do.
Not for Tom Cruise. If McQuarrie wants to write a musical for Tom Cruise, I'm here. I'll watch it.
Tom Cruise can't admit Scientology's fake.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days.
I thought he did.
Did he?
Did he? I don't think he admitted that it's fake.
I'm pretty sure he left.
I don't think he's
different from admitting that it's fake.
All right.
Yeah. All right. He and Christopher McQuarrie are also going to develop a new action franchise for Tom Cruise to star in. I guess that kind of means maybe no more Mission Impossible movies. They want to do something else.
I mean, they've been saying for a while that 8 would be the end.
Yeah, but Cruise suggested in a recent interview that he would continue playing the role.
I don't really know what that means, but I'm not surprised that they want to do something where they can just start fresh.
Yeah. I think that this is a cool idea. I'd love to see it.
Do Night and Day 2.
Do Night and Day 2. Speaking of sequels, though, apparently they're really trying to get a Les Grossman movie off the ground.
This is the wildest thing.
So, for those of you who don't know, Tom Cruise plays a producer named Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder, and they want to make a spin-off of that character.
This is both incredible and terrible at the same time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Undeniably. No, go ahead, Ben.
No, I don't. I mean, look, I love that character in Tropic Thunder, but I don't know if that character can work anywhere else but Tropic Thunder.
I won't even say that. I just don't know if that character can work as more than a cameo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing.
Yeah, that was like the most, honestly, of all the actors in that movie, when Tom Cruise shows up in that costume, it's like my entire family, when we were watching this movie, was like, that's Tom Cruise.
Stop. I solved it. I know what it is. It's that he has to be the bad guy.
Uh-huh.
And it has to be like Big Fat Liar. He has to be like the Paul Giamatti character in Big Fat Liar.
Oh.
I'd say that.
Yeah.
Now that could work.
Okay.
He has to be like dicking over an artist as his producer character. That would be pretty good.
To Ben's point, I didn't know it was Tom Cruise until the day after I saw the movie.
Oh.
Sure.
So that always shocked me. I am very into the idea of them wanting to do this. Again, I will see anything they want to do together. Yeah. Especially if it's what Sparks said.
Does Christopher McQuarrie come and make Edge of Tomorrow 2? Because I really like Edge of Tomorrow 2 someday, guys.
He really wants to. They just, for some reason, can't get that sequel off the ground.
I mean, like, truthfully, I don't need it, but I wouldn't mind it. I did.
Because even after the movie came out, because he really wanted to do the sequel to it, because he directed it. He wrote and directed that movie.
Yeah. The Les Grossman thing, I think you have to make him the bad guy.
Maybe
but if you did that in that framework, I think that could be really cool. Because otherwise, I don't think that character can hold up. But it's also incredible because like that was an awesome appearance.
Maybe that's the movie. Les Grossman is trying to strike down Edge of Tomorrow 2.
God.
Oh my God.
You have Les Grossman dicking over Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Oh, that's so. And you have both of them on screen. Oh, that'd be funny.
I'd watch that.
I think
watch
it's
that.
better. I think it's better. Look, I think we're right that it's funny if it's an actor playing a parody of themselves, a la like, you know, the Nicolas Cage appearance or something. But it has to be somebody else. It shouldn't be Cruise.
Yeah.
I think it's better if he is just flat out, like, he should be in it just as much as Paul Giamatti is in Big Fat Liar. He should be the bad guy, the antagonist. But you got to have like someone else come in to play opposite him and be the actor celebrity that he's dicking over, playing a parody of themselves.
I want to rewatch Night and Day tonight.
Oh my god, it should be The Rock.
Yes. In this universe, The Rock was in Edge of Tomorrow too.
The Rock wants to be in Edge of Tomorrow too, but Les Grossman wants him to be a villain.
Yeah. Did you see Warner Brothers? I didn't put this in the news. I totally forgot. Warner Brothers has greenlit a series about making a superhero movie. A comedy series in the vein of 30 Rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Warner Brothers Discovery was in the news again.
Mm-hmm.
All goods in Flashland, right?
So Flash.
All good in Flashland.
Hey, I saw Brian's tweet, and he said that every time a new crazy, batshit crazy headline from Ezra Miller was going to come up, he was going to... Oh, no, Sparks, damn it.
I was responding to Brandon's tweet and saying, this is the quote that you just use anytime a news article comes up around what Ezra Miller's doing. Just all good in Flashland.
All good in Flashland. But...
Well, if you may or may not know, but Ezra Miller was charged with felony this week.
Felony burglary.
Felony burglary. So in the wake of this, the Flash, apparently, this is all hearsay. This has not been officially reported by Zaslav. Did not come out and tell us this. This is all coming from reporters who have sources.
I do want to point out that it is mildly scary that Ezra Miller is a notable celebrity.
Yeah.
With a lot of charges against him, and yet somehow we have not been able to arrest him.
Right.
It's a little startling on a level where it's like, how is he doing this?
They can't find him, right? He's still with his cult?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
Anyway, there's a lot about Ezra Miller that I'm sure you forgot about. So in the wake of the Ezra Miller controversy, they're apparently considering 3 options for the Flash. Ezra Miller does an interview to explain their behavior, and then they do limited press for the movie. So not a lot, just limited.
This will not happen.
Ezra Miller does not do press at all for the movie, which would make it the first time that the lead actor of a movie does not do press for it.
That's more likely.
And then finally, scrap the film.
They're not.
So here's what happened. Here's some more. Reportedly, there's been a screaming match between Zaslav and the board and his new board. The board say scrap the movie. It's not worth it. Get rid of it. Apparently, he was outvoted by a fair margin, and then called another meeting to try to turn over that vote because he does not want to lose the Flash. The board's okay with losing the Flash. He doesn't want to lose the Flash, specifically because he doesn't think Aquaman will do well, and he doesn't want to lose 2 DC movies.
He's a moron.
He's an idiot.
Why would Aquaman is their most...
Aquaman made $1 billion.
Yeah, it's their most profitable film. And wow, that's a sentence I never thought I'd say in my entire life. No offense to Jason Momoa or Aquaman, but Aquaman is DC's most profitable film. If not the top 2 outside of Wonder Woman. Mate, if there's...
Of the two films, Aquaman or The Flash is dead on arrival.
Yeah.
Aquaman is not.
No, Aquaman is still going... Flash is dead. At this point, it's either... Part of me is like, I don't know. I'm like, I could definitely see 2 or 3 happening. Like,
I believe they get
press for Ezra.
I believe what happens if Zaslav is an idiot and doesn't believe in Aquaman. The board's not going to convince him otherwise, even though money talks. If Zaslav gets his way and doesn't want to lose because he doesn't want to lose the Flash, I can definitely see them either getting Ezra into rehab some rehab center or something, or doing an interview to explain his erratic behavior, be like, I'm getting help, whatever, and then he does limited to no press. I can see that option. I feel like that's the Zaslav option. That's the one that he wants to go with.
Yeah.
I cannot see a world where Ezra does an interview.
Yeah. He's too toxic right now. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing about Zaslav that always pisses me off, because we talked about it a little bit when J.K. Rowling, when he released a statement about wanting to work with J.K. Rowling for years and years and years. He doesn't care if they're problematic. The problem he's not looking at is the human factor of it all. J.K. Rowling is the reason why Fantastic Beasts 3 failed.
Mm-hmm.
The Flash, the reason why The Flash fails was because of
also
Ezra
the
Miller.
second movie just being a bad movie.
Yeah. But these people, it's very easy for these people who are so associated with these films to hurt their own brand. And that is what Ezra Miller is doing right now. And he's not taking that into account.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's an idiot.
He is.
Doom Patrol and Titans are apparently both due to be canceled.
Didn't we say that was writing on the wall?
Yeah, well, yeah. I saw a tweet where they're just like, Zaslav is fighting a war against Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
If Doom Patrol, as I suspect it might have been, was already on the bubble, Zaslav's not going to pull it out of the fire.
Mm-mm.
That's the thing.
So either.
And Titans, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like, I'm okay with losing Titans. I don't watch it. Like, that's fine. But Doom Patrol is so quirky and good.
The best comic book show on TV.
And queer.
Yeah. Doom Patrol, in my opinion, is the best comic book show on TV that Ben Magna is not watching. It just is.
That's actually a really high list that Ben Magnet is not watching.
There's
a lot of shows on that
That's
list.
why I had to. Yeah, I honestly, I would say it is just the best comic book show, regardless.
Yeah,
it is just a great comic book adaptation show. It will be sad to see it go, but honestly, I'm glad we even got to 3 seasons, because I didn't think we'd get the third.
4.
Has the 4th filmed?
This is the 4th, the one that just aired with
No,
the replacement.
That was 3.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let me check.
Sure.
While I check, I will say, Doom Patrol. Okay. The actor who plays Cyborg, stated that they just stopped filming season 4. That's why I got confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. So season 4 is coming, and then I hope they got what's his name back.
I don't know. Is season 4 coming? Because Zaslav's.
He could just tax credit that one.
No, every time like someone's like, "Hey, we're done filming. We're in post production." Zaslav is like, "Time to kill the project."
Development has apparently slowed on Static Shock, Supergirl, Green Lantern Corps, and the Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman movie, which I still believe that Superman movie is being retooled into a Henry Cavill one.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. I hope Static Shock goes through. I would hate to lose that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Green Lantern Corps, quite honestly, you could keep.
Here's the thing: if Flash dies, I think pretty much every project dies as they scrap and remodel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Static Shock, though. Static Shock scares me because it was made a made for HBO Max movie that, Milestone was really excited for. Milestone is they were like, we're finally getting a Static Shock movie going. We got that animated movie. So like, I'd hate to lose that one.
I would too, but I don't.
And like,
I have no faith right now.
It wouldn't be tied. So if the Flash failed, you wouldn't have to scrap it because it's not tied to the DCU.
That's not the point.
I know. The Green Lantern Corps show, that I think Berlanti is working on for HBO Max. That currently is still moving forward. It's just a little slower. And then apparently everything that J.J. Abrams has been working on for a decade plus, not really. He's just been doing this for a while. Are moving forward, which honestly surprises me because that deal has not made anything yet. And how Zaslav is like, yes, J.J. Abrams, you can make your Constantine show, and not J.J. Abrams, we've paid you to do something for 3 years and you haven't done it. Get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So there is good news, though. In all of this, there is some reporters have been able to find out that as of now, Black Canary is still in production, still moving forward with Misha Green writing. Harley Quinn season 4 is a lock, though the official renewal order has not been given yet. But they're very confident. Peacemaker season 2, Penguin, the Batman prequel show, and everything else that I haven't mentioned are fine. They are still moving forward in production. They are happening.
I am pleased to hear that. Asterisks as of now.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, everything could go.
Yeah, that's the thing about that's the scary thing about Zaslav is that he's kind of on the rampage. Things that James Gunn could be like, yeah, Peacemaker is good today, and then tomorrow I just got the call that we're pulling Peacemaker season 2.
Well, that's the nightmare, is that he convinced me that like a movie or show could be almost at its release date, and he could go, no. Because until the laws change, he can just go, I don't have faith in that tax write-off.
Yeah.
I have no faith.
Yeah, everything about Zaslav taking over since this merger happened, it's just bad news after bad news after bad news. I mean, outside the Ezra Miller stuff, I mean, this just like nothing feels good about news that comes out of Warner Brothers.
Imagine being the person where you go to bat for the guy who has been terrorizing the United States for the past year. Imagine being like, I have no faith in $1 billion franchise, but I have faith in this film. How good is The Flash? That he's just all on board on The Flash. That movie has to be fucking good.
It's also unfortunate, like, if The Flash does get scrapped, that's another blow to Keaton's return.
That's true. Because I don't know what's happening with that one. Who's even Batman anymore? Trailers. Sparks, you've seen Rick and Morty season 5, correct?
I have. I've seen all of Rick and Morty.
I still haven't seen the 5th season, so I didn't watch this trailer.
Oh yeah, there's so many spoilers. Oh my gosh.
Well, I figured not. I was just, I want to get.
I get it.
So why don't you talk about this for?
Hey guys, do you like Rick and Morty? They're still here.
Wow.
Doing the same Rick and Morty. Like, I mean, like, it's not the same, but like, what you looking for in Rick and Morty? They got more of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what more to say about it than that. Like, they're doing more Rick and Morty. It all looks like it's still just as good as it's always been. A+.
Chipping away at that 70 episode order.
Yeah. I haven't seen the 5th season of Rick and Morty, so when I watched this trailer, I didn't know there were spoilers because everything I was like, "Oh, look, this is just more."
Ben, there weren't spoilers.
Oh.
That was a sarcastic joke.
Okay.
There's nothing to spoil about. Like there's like one thing you could spoil from season 5, and they weren't going to spoil it in a trailer. Like, there's not a lot of lore heavy stuff for you to get ruined on. That's why I was joking.
Oh, god damn it.
No, it's okay, because like that was the point. Is like, if you didn't see a spoiler, it's because there were no spoilers.
Yeah, because I was just the same. I echo exactly what Spark said. This is just, it looks like the same Rick and Morty adventures. If you really like Rick and Morty, then here you go. Here's more of that. And I mean, I enjoy Rick and Morty, but to be perfectly honest, after season 5 or even after season 4, I haven't started season 5. I don't know if I'm just kind of done with it or it just doesn't interest me as much anymore.
I'll tell you what, because there are so many Rick and Morty clones, I felt the same way before I started season 4. And I watched season 4 and immediately remembered why Rick and Morty is so unique.
I think Brandon's right, is because like you can think you're tired of Rick and Morty and then you sit down and you're like, oh, right. They know how to write this show.
Yeah.
That's what's special about Rick and Morty. God, they're good writers. Jeez.
Because a lot of Rick and Morty clones, aren't. They're all just trying to do the crazy, goofy adult animated show thing. And so like that feels like you're oversaturating the market. But then you watch Rick and Morty and you're like, oh, right. This is a great show.
Okay. All right. Not to say that Rick and Morty isn't great, because the season.
And I say that real quickly. Sorry, Ben. I say that as someone who likes one of the Rick and Morty clones a lot. Star Trek Lower Decks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I love Lower Decks.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ben.
Oh, I think I've covered as much as I was going to say about Rick and Morty season 6.
All right.
I'll probably watch it eventually. I mean, by it, I mean season 5, so I can get ready for season 6. But once again, Rick and Morty, as of now, and in my personal sphere of things to watch and things to do, it is very low on the priority list.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a narrative heavy show, but like it remains consistently funny and well written, and that has been true up to this point. So I have no reason to doubt that this season will also be that. And I do understand, like, kind of thinking maybe you're fatigued from Rick and Morty, because I definitely have felt it before too. I'm like, maybe I got burnt out on this. And the thing is, like, you watch it and then you're like, oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not. It's just that there's just a lot of things that are trying to be Rick and Morty. And there's a lot of things that make me think that Rick and Morty has gotten overhyped. And the reality is that no, Rick and Morty is just still good. Still quality content.
Let's move on to Gotham Knights, the Red Hood trailer.
Pew pew.
I don't really have anything to say.
Neither do I.
I was going to ask to take this one off. So let's move it on.
I mean, like, it's such a heavy, like, I'm excited to play that game. It's you know, so heavily cinematic, and like it's just like featuring stuff about the Red Hood. His power set seems a little confusing.
Yeah.
I don't think I like this voice actor for the Red Hood.
I don't like this voice actor for Red Hood. I'm also, quite honestly, not crazy about the gameplay. We've seen 4 gameplay trailers right now, and I'm not loving it. There's not a lot about this game that I'm interested in at this point.
I liked the early stuff we were seeing. That last one that we talked about a while ago, where it was just like a bad gameplay build. But I do think that the gameplay will be fun.
Yeah,
we'll find out in October.
Sorry, but when Brand said I'm not loving, the first thing that went through my mind was ba-da-ba-ba. Aww.
Oh no.
That's
oh
good.
Boy.
Expect further thoughts on Gotham Knights when we do a basement arcade later.
Yeah,
at some point
later in the next 5 years.
I'm just glad I was able to make Brandon laugh that hard. And it's like, now I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba. Yay!
Not as funny.
Not as funny as ba-da-ba-ba.
Aww.
That should be what happened when someone gets a really bad McDonald's order.
You guys, have you guys seen the Spider-Man thing where it's like when you get someone else's order at McDonald's, this is something else.
I've seen that meme, yeah. That is good.
Yeah, I did see that.
That's pretty good.
All right. That's a good meme.
Okay. So you guys haven't seen the second Mortal Kombat Legends movie, correct?
Correct.
So here's the third one. I didn't realize this was happening.
I know, because when we last talked, you were like, those Mortal Kombat Legends movies are probably dead. Oh, wait.
But also the second one is pretty finite.
Yeah.
It feels like the ending. Mortal Kombat Legends, Snowblind.
Son of a bitch, I missed this one. God damn it.
Oh, well.
This is about Kano?
It's actually about...
Not Kano. Well, Kano's the bad guy.
Kano's the bad guy. Captain Kano. Hisuchi? Is that it?
Yeah, the blind guy with the sword.
Yeah.
We played those games, right? We played those games.
Here, I'll be sure that I think I'm saying it right.
I think this looks pretty cool. I really like the idea of the Mortal Kombat Legends that we talked about when like Scorpion came out. That they could progress a story. That they are progressing a story, but each film is around...
I was way off. It's Kenshi.
And so like these films are carrying a narrative story throughout, but each one is centered around a different character.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see this one.
I'm glad they're continuing it. The animation looks good. I still want to talk about the second one for Animation Station at some point. Maybe we will. Who knows?
We should. We have a lot. Animation Station can come back.
I'm busy.
I know.
Do you not remember the top of the show?
I know, but
you asked me about 3 projects.
I asked you about what? Two. What's the third one?
The one with Jeremy Counts.
That's fair. That's fair.
You did them at the same time. I
they were
knew
on
where
my
your
mind.
head was at. Yeah.
Stay tuned for a show with Jeremy, by the way, guys.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Mag in the comments. Kenji, yes. Yeah, some exciting things are happening in the future, guys, but maybe not Animation Station.
Kenshi, not Kenji. Kenshi. It's an S and an H, Mag. Don't mislead me. I looked it up twice.
I would really like to see us finish the Adventure Time specials. That's the last thing I want to say about Animation Station.
It's on my mind. I know.
Mortal Kombat
We
Legends.
should do this. I'm excited about it.
Snowblind. Lot of Sub-Zero, I guess, in this one.
Good looking animation stuff still going on. I love it. I'm glad that this is taking off with Mortal Kombat. I think this is cool.
Me too.
It's at a great time in our lives for exactly this content.
I agree.
Go check out Mortal Kombat X on Basement Arcade.
We also did Scorpion's Revenge, Mortal Kombat Legends on an episode a few.
Yeah, we did. That's why we have to do the second one. Yeah.
Yeah. The menu. Anya Taylor-Joy and Ralph Fiennes and Nicholas Hoult.
Well, this looks like a dinner that I don't want to go to.
Like Chef, but a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Like if instead of Jon Favreau was Hannibal Lecter and Chef.
Pretty much.
I'm not immediately like jazzed and sold, but I am intrigued.
Yeah.
I'll probably want. I don't know.
You have my curiosity, but you don't have my attention.
There you go. Yeah, I think I'm the same way. If it pops up on like a stream service and I haven't seen anything yet, it's like, okay, cool, I'll probably watch it. But
Go ahead, Ben. I was letting you finish.
No, but other than that, I am not like, oh my god, I need to see this movie in the theaters. I'm like, creepy chef. He's probably like a cannibal or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. I do like the couple that's like, we're dead, and he's like, yeah, we're dead. I think that's good. I also like I do like the ending button of you told them it was my birthday. It was a lot funnier 3 hours ago.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty good. That made me chuckle, and I'm like, okay, there could be some pretty cool stuff here.
Yeah.
I do like Ralph Fiennes in the role that he's in here. I think that could be a lot of fun, potentially.
The House of Hammer.
Oh, speaking of cannibals.
Yo, I know. I think I barely remember that there were some allegations towards Armie Hammer, but I don't remember anything like this bad.
So when I heard about the allegations, to speak on your point, Ben, when I heard about the allegations, I kind of felt like we were all king shaming him because I had not heard the extent of what they were. Because I was like, there's cannibalism. Cannibalism is kind of a kink because people like to bite and not eat people.
Yeah.
But and so like this was kind of a shock because it kind of felt like he comes from a criminal empire of just abusers.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But Sparks, why don't we actually talk about what we want to talk about with this?
So my whole thing is that like I don't mean to detract from anybody's like personal accounts of things. I really don't. And I will admit that some amount of this is because I don't really like Zaslav and Discovery Plus right now. So I'm kind of like, F you. But this is a little sensationalized for my taste. I think that this is valuable information to have people come out and talk about, but this feels very performative in a way that, regardless of like, I believe that there's a lot of truth to what's going on here. The presentation of it is in a performative way. Like that button of the trailer where she's just like the zoom in and like, my name is Casey. Like I can't just give us this information in a way that feels sincere. Even if it's more boring that way, I don't like this kind of sensationalized true life documentary stuff. And the fact that it's with Discovery of all people is like, ugh, I feel like you're already you sign away an amount of your authenticity when you do it in this format. And for me, that's hard to get around, regardless of the fact that I think it's important for these stories to be heard.
Yeah. But what this should have been.
Yeah, I was really sad when I saw this on our doc today because I didn't know what this was. And I saw the title House of Hammer, and I thought this was going to be a documentary about the Hammer horror films from the UK. And it wasn't. And I was like, well, Poo.
And this is Hollywood's wake-up call to make that movie.
Yes, absolutely. I, Sparks Witty of the Fake Nerd Podcast, am putting you on blast, Hollywood. Make a documentary about the Hammer horror films of the UK. Where is Del Toro when I need him?
Ooh, Del Toro would kill that documentary.
Obviously. Yeah. I mean, it's shitty that Armie Hammer is a shitty person.
Yeah. Death on the Nile on Blu-ray now. Do Revenge. Maya Hawke.
This looks great.
This looks really good.
Yeah,
I'm really glad you said that.
I really want to watch this.
I really love Maya Hawke. I think she's wonderful.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Really excited to see more her in a leading role in a movie.
I agree. I really hope that this doesn't end with the kind of like moral lesson of they were wrong to seek revenge. I'm like, nah, get it, girls, get it. I want them to win. I don't want some third act like, but this was not the right way to. No, get them.
It's like, oh, but we shouldn't have revenge. It's like, nah, this time, no, you get that revenge.
And the other lead in this is Veronica from
Riverdale.
Yes. I forgot it.
But yeah, I think this looks really great. I really want to see it. Netflix.
Yes,
next month.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Shall we do our main topic then?
Oh yeah.
Hold on, I gotta find the thing. There it is. This music brought to you by Jeremy Vellucci. Spared no expense.
Spared no expense.
Spared no expense.
All right, Brandon, give us the thing.
Full spoilers for Day Shift. This is the new film from Netflix starring Jamie Foxx. I forgot the director's name. Sorry. You can check it out on Netflix right now. It's out now. Full spoilers. Pause this. Stop this. Close the tab. Do something. If you're watching us live, spoilers. Full spoilers. We're gonna spoil the shit out of this movie. Spoilers. I'm buying time for Sparks to find the director.
J.J. Perry.
J.J. Perry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do we think about this? You've been
go ahead, Ben.
Okay, I guess I'm going first. I enjoyed it. I actually had a really good time with it. There are some things story-wise that kind of left me hanging a little bit. But other than that, I had a fun time with it, but also it was really, I don't want to say jarring, but it was still kind of funny seeing all these major landmarks of the San Fernando Valley, such as the Northridge Fashion Center, which is a mall Brandon and I used to frequent a few times back when we lived in Northridge when we were going to school there. And then I'm seeing like Coldwater Canyon, Ventura Boulevard. It's like, oh, I know where all these places are. Outside of that, outside, I mean, it's always jarring when he's like, hey, I drove down that street probably where they filmed this. Besides that, I still had fun with this movie. It was a good time.
That mother effer always found parking. You can never find street parking in Northridge.
Bullshit. I mean, it's like, oh, I'm going to have... Even like some of the houses that he lived up, it's like, man, that must be in Simi Valley, because that's where the really nice shit is.
He just pulls up to Dave Franco's place and just parks on the street. I'm like, no way you're finding parking. You're looping that block 3 times before you find a parking spot. Anyway, sorry.
Get the PTSD from trying to find parking in Northridge.
You liked it, Sparks?
Yeah, I think that it's fun. I do think that the action is awesome, really good. I think that the cast is mostly selling the film. I think overall it's a lot of fun to be with them. I like a lot of the inventive vampire world stuff they're doing here, even if we don't explore it quite to the extent I'd like to in this movie. But I do like its setup. I like its premise. I like its action. I think it's good. I think it is good.
I really enjoyed this. I had a really great time with this one. I think the leads are all great. I only have 2 issues with the movie. And I guess we just might as well just get into it, because I think we might
Let's do it. Let's just talk about some negatives. Yeah!
I think we might have the same issue with the villain.
Oh, See, you said leads, and I'm like, technically, isn't she like one?
So I wasn't counting her.
Yeah, yes, the villain's no offense to, I'm gonna look up her name.
Yeah.
Carla Souza, from How to Get Away with Murder. Oh, congratulations. No offense to her. And I'm willing to put down that I think J.J. Perry, we know, we've talked about it before. This is his directorial debut. He does a lot of stunt stuff. That's why the action in this movie is so awesome, and it is. He's coming from that, and I don't know that he has the experience, and experience is the word, to pull the proper performance out of actors who don't already know what to do. And I think that she is the prime example. Like, I think everybody else in this cast kind of knows what to do with what they're given. And they probably honestly could have also been improved with a more deft hand in the directing, but they're good regardless. She suffers, and I don't think it's necessarily that she's written poorly. I think it's just that she's not interesting to watch. She's just not giving us anything as a villain performance. She just is there to be the villain, and I find that dull. Like, when we get to the end and we have the part where her and her right hand guy split up, her right hand guy is played by Oliver Masucci. And you've seen his face in things before. He's giving good vampire face. And so when they split up for their fights, and you've got Dave Franco and Heather fighting him, and then Jamie Foxx fighting Audrey, I'm way more interested in him just because he's a more interesting presence as a vampire villain than she has been up to this point. And she's just not giving me anything in the performance. And I'm sorry to say that. I don't mean a disrespect to the actor. I don't think it's really entirely her fault. It just doesn't, it reminded me a lot of when we talked about the Adam Project. Like, the only thing that was sinking the Adam Project from being a great film was the villain was just forgettable as hell. And it's the same situation here.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I agree also. That wasn't the first thing I thought about as for my negatives on the film, but now that you mention it, I really was like, I was totally fine with, like, maybe like the main protagonist or the antagonist would just be the time limit that that Bob had to get the money so he can keep his family in California.
Outside of her initial scene, which I did enjoy.
That's a great scene. You're right. That's a great scene.
That's a great scene. I Jamie Foxx talked about it on the behind the scenes thing. He's like, this movie got, like, eating popcorn moments. And I'm like, well, this movie also has looking at your phone moments, which were every single time it was just the villain. I checked out, except for the opening scene with her, which I do think is a great scene.
It's a great, you're 100% correct. It's a great introduction scene. It gives her a presence, and nothing about the rest of it pays that off for her. Ben, continue.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
We're just talking about her.
Yeah, she is. I mean, she's forgettable. I mean, outside of that opening scene, which is a brutal way to take out a vampire, it was. Like,
I love that whole thing. Just like pouring the cement on. Love it.
Yeah, that was a brutal way to kill a vampire. I would say that other than that, it's just like, oh yeah, I forgot you're the antagonist in this movie, and even her motivation when it's finally revealed, it's like, okay, but then it's like the whole time it's like, why is she really going after this guy? It's like, I don't get it.
I assumed early on from when she cradled the old woman and was like precious and whatever she said, that there was some familial relation of some kind. I thought that was good motivation. It's what's shitty about it is that you don't even give her the opportunity to be the character that revealed that. It's not Audrey who talks about that. It's Heather. Heather tells Jamie Foxx's character about that. And Audrey doesn't have that moment of saying, like, I had to work so hard to find my daughter because we were separated, and I found her when she was old, but at least I could give her eternal life. Like, you don't do any of that. She's robbed of that opportunity, and I don't fault the actor for that, but because of that, like, you have a weaker, less impressionable villain.
Mhm.
She's just kind of. I said that I was talking to Megan about it because Megan didn't watch it with me, but I was telling her about like some of my stuff with it. And I'm like, if you look at Fright Night, and it doesn't matter which one I'm talking about, it could be the original, it could be the remake. It's not very complicated motivations for the villain. He just wants to eat people, and he's mad that the neighbor caught him. That's it. That's what he's doing. But the performance by both of those actors, original, remake, is so full of life and full of presence that it doesn't matter that the motivations are simple. And Audrey just doesn't have that. She doesn't have that kind of like drive as a villain. You don't need to make it complicated with a vampire, but they just don't do anything with her.
Keep talking. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick.
Sure. I will piggyback off that because I still want to talk about some of my negatives. And the other one is I am a little disappointed that we live in the year 2022 and we have to do this plot of you got to make all the money to make sure that we don't move away. And I'm like, it's 2022, my girl. What are you doing?
I thought the same thing. Is like, wait, where's all her tuition? Aren't you working?
Here's the thing. It made her bitchy in a way that was unnecessary. And I'm like, because I don't think that the character is written to be bitchy, but like the subtext is that that's bitchy. And it's a very like my other problem with the film, like overall, is that that's a very 90s idea of this family dynamic that I think is old hat as shit. I think literally Jamie Foxx has been in this movie before as far as like the family dynamic thing. I think this has happened. And I just didn't care for it. It made the wife a caricature more than a character. And I'm like, I don't mind you giving him the time limit of like, oh, he's got to make $10,000 by Monday. That's fine. Just say that she also has to turn up $10,000.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why we're putting this on one-sided thing. Like, he has to be the only provider. This is such a fucking old, this is such an old idea that's so baked in like bad misogyny. I didn't care for that read. I didn't think it worked. I didn't think it made good sense in the movie as it was. It pissed me off, to be honest.
Sure. I won't say it upset me to that degree, but I do remember thinking early into the movie that when they're like, you got to find all the tuition, you got to get all the money. And I was just kind of thinking like, aren't you working? Don't you? Well, don't you also pay for the kid?
Well, and I mean, it's also coming from this angle where it's like, they clearly get along. Like, I don't understand why, like, they get along, yet she's springing this on him. He's got this small time limit. She expects him to do all of the work for it. Like, who she is as the performance of this character does not mesh with who we're being told she's being in these scenes of like, you only have this amount of time. You got to do this. You can make her distrusting of him for like, the whole reason that they split up apparently is because she knows he's lying about shit, which is vampire hunting. And like, that's fine and all, but like that should be in their dynamic, not just written actions of to do. Hey, I'm going to demand these things because we are separated. And it's all telling me things without showing me anything between them. Yeah. Because what it's showing me is like a pretty workable relationship.
Yeah.
But the demands are obscene.
Yeah, I agree with that. Can I piggyback off of one of my other negative?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is Heather.
Yeah.
I don't like Heather. I don't think Heather works in the movie.
I think I like Heather fine, except I just don't think she's developed enough. I don't think she comes in. Her.
She comes in too late into the movie to have any development with her. And I guess you could probably like rush some, but they choose not to because the next time we see her, it's revealed what she is, and then the next time there's a conversation, it's already at the third act of the movie.
Yeah.
I would definitely say like when she first shows up on screen, I'm thinking, oh, is she gonna try and be like a new love interest for Jamie? That shouldn't be, because he's still obviously devoted to his wife. He wants to keep his family here.
To that point, what you're talking about is it's because it's framed like a cute meet. It's framed like two characters meeting each other.
Yeah, exactly.
To fall in love.
Exactly. And then I was like, oh, maybe she's like a vampire or something, and then it turns out that she is. And
it's literally it's literally Steve Rogers coming home in Winter Soldier, and she has
You're
to do
right.
her laundry. It's literally that.
Yeah, it's the Winter Soldier when he meets Sharon.
Yeah. What was I gonna say about Heather? I mean, I do like Heather. I like the person who played her. I liked her action scenes later in the movie, but I definitely have to say that I wanted more development from Heather. Like if we met Heather earlier in the movie and they had some sort of friendship going on, that would have been fine. And it's revealed that she was spying on him this whole time. I would have been like, okay, that would probably have been a little bit better.
I don't disagree with you that I think that it's a flaw to have her in the film. I think I just liked her presence more than our own villain. So I'm like, I could have used more of Heather. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching Heather because I thought the actor was fun. Can't wait to see her as Sabine Wren, y'all. But yes, she is Sabine Wren for Ahsoka. But I don't disagree. Like her placement in the film is bad.
Yeah.
And honestly, it goes to a different idea, which I will offer here, which is that I think her presence works more if you let Jamie Foxx kill Dave Franco.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he beheads him, he should have died. And this, correct me if I'm wrong, that this makes no goddamn sense. How come he can reattach his head, but decapitating her works?
I had the same thought.
Because the implication is that she's the uber vampire that bit him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So decapitating him doesn't work, but decapitating her does. I don't mind decapitating her, but then like, shouldn't you have to do more to kill her?
Because they do say something about, there's like a throwaway line in the movie about vampires who can move around after they decapitate their heads.
This is not an issue with the movie that I have, but I think the movie delivers too much exposition in too short of a time. There was basically a rundown of every single vampire that goes by so quickly. It's easy to miss some of them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it happens in a very awkward exposition scene. I don't think the exposition scenes in this movie work. And that's where we find out that an uber vamp can reattach its head.
Well, they say in the scene where after
Dave Franco
reattaches his head, they go to Heather, and Heather says he has uber vampire blood going through him.
Yeah.
That's who transformed him. That's why this is happening. And I'm like, cool. That should mean that our leading villain is that and can do the same.
It does, because Heather also calls her an uber vamp.
Right.
In that same scene.
Right.
So it's really, so when Jamie Foxx decapitates her, and I thought, oh, maybe it was because it was the silver, but that blade that he cuts Dave Franco's head off is also silver.
It could be because Dave Franco doesn't have wood in his heart, and she does. Because they say you have to stake them in the heart with wood and then cut their head off to effectively kill them. That's why when I gotta
tell you, Ben, that might be true, and that's a good theory. It is not made obvious enough in this movie for me to give it the pass on that.
So the reason why I formulated this theory is that like when Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg were going through, which another can I piggyback off? Can I also mention one of my
finish your thought and then move on?
Yeah, because when they're going in, it's like, look, these bullets, vampire killers, silver tipped wooden bullets.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, you got like maybe just 2 shots and the vampire's dead. Wood in the heart, silver in the head. So I mean, it may be, but you're right. It is dumb. It's not well telegraphed why that works. It works because the story needed it to work. Yeah,
and that's a flaw.
I like how they bring back the tripwire or the slim wire. I like how they brought that back from the beginning and how Jamie's like gets him every time because someone called it that POS weapon, which is like, no, it's not. It's pretty effective.
That was a really good reveal because we hadn't seen that thing in a while.
Yeah,
I really appreciated that.
Yeah. Now, one of my big problems with this movie, as much as I enjoy it, there were a lot of things that I felt like they were trying to set up in a possible sequel, or like little carrots of like maybe like throwaway lines is like, say that the El Jefe line is like, hey, do you think this is El Jefe? He's like, no, this is too big for El Jefe. It's like, what?
I had a feeling that was one of your problems.
Yeah, and even wait. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm not muted. I'm sorry.
It's okay, because we're like, don't throw it. I was like, what are you talking about? Besides that, also when they're going to attack Audrey's vampire tomb, and there's a bunch of familiars, but they're building vampire killing bullets. It's like you're working for vampires, but you're making bullets to kill vampires. That isn't that counterproductive in a way. I don't know. There's like a few things, and even like the whole social hierarchy of vampires, or even like the sunscreen thing. The sunscreen thing, like Audrey was saying, oh look, I'm putting my arm in the sun, but I'm not completely burning up. But we can still live in the daylight. I have the day. We can seize the day. Who the hell was she talking to? That's never explained.
There's also a bit to kind of your point. This didn't bother me like it bothered you, but there is a moment when they're in the team up scene, which is a great action scene with the two brothers, and they shoot who they think is a familiar, and it turns out it's a vampire who has sunscreen on, and he runs away. That was the one I was like, feels like the sunscreen thing probably should be a bigger deal, the way they kind of just like, oh yeah, sunscreen's now a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, are we going full Blade with some Daywalkers now, or
even then, like a lot of those ones are like, I don't mind. This is a vampire killing movie with Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg. Like, I can let some of this slide.
True.
I think the bigger thing for me is just like, for the fun of what this movie is presenting, the villain just doesn't impress, and I think that like some of the lore shit just gets a little too confused up its own butt.
Yeah.
But that like that doesn't bother me as much, and like I do find the family dynamic with Jamie Foxx a little tiresome.
Yeah. I will kind of like back up Ben a little bit with the El Jefe one, because I did expect a post-credits scene, something to kind of tease El Jefe, because the way they talk about him is not necessarily something that hurt the movie at all. It is just a little weird that they kept doing specifically that and then never really paid that off.
Sure.
But can I talk about a positive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think Jamie Foxx is incredible.
He's a treat to watch this movie.
I will be honest, just real quick on the El Jefe thing. Sorry. I think I was tired when I watched this movie. It did wake me up with some good action, but this was early enough where I might have missed it. But I interpreted that the person she put in the cement was El Jefe.
I can see that, but El Jefe is considered is thought to be older, but I guess that is rumor. That's not.
That's the whole thing. Is he's yeah.
So I think the person she put in the cement was someone by the name of Sasha, and she's on the phone when she's going to her daughter's house, and of course the guy she's on the phone with, who now I'm assuming is El Jefe, saying it's like, you had no right to take out Sasha, and she's like, oh please, we own the night, why not seize the day? What I'm doing, we can take control of the city, we don't have to be burdened by just working in the night. And then it's never brought up again.
But you're saying you're assuming that the person on the phone was El Jefe.
I'm assuming the person on the phone was El Jefe, but I know for a fact the person she put in the ground with cement was not El Jefe.
Well, you don't know that for a fact,
because you'd only know the person's name, and El Jefe wouldn't be that person's name.
El Jefe is a title, not a name.
Yeah, I know, but
she wouldn't be calling him El Jefe.
Right, but like,
so Sasha could be El Jefe.
I'm saying you don't know for a fact. This was my read when I watched it, and I'm not saying it's correct. I'm just saying there is not enough information to say that Sasha is not El Jefe, because the implication is that he was the guy, right? He was the guy running the vampire show in the valley. He was the dude who was living by the old traditions and the old ways, and she put him in the ground because she wants to do new things, and that's why I was interpreting he was El Jefe.
Okay, I was interpreting him as a high-level grunt who wronged her, and
she tells him, like, you live by the old rituals, and we're done with them.
Yeah, so he's not a grunt.
He's an older
ideas. A person.
Okay, I thought that because
person. He's like the he'd be like, I don't know, in the like hierarchy of John Wick, he wouldn't, assuming he's not El Jefe, he wouldn't be the high table, he'd be the person under the high table. If he's El Jefe, then he'd be the high table.
You're not wrong, Ben, that like there's just not enough information to say one way or another, but that was what I thought we were doing, is that they were saying like because they say like, you know, what she's doing is too big to be to be El Jefe. Well, that's the whole point. Is she's overtaking what he was doing in the valley, and
Yeah.
like he was like an entity they knew of, but were having trouble pinning down. Well, she pinned him down. She put him in the ground. That was my read. Ben's right. There's not enough information one way or another to make it clear what's going on.
Because I also, I mean, I'm with Ben. I didn't read it that way either. I didn't think he was a grunt, a low level grunt. But I didn't assume he was El Jefe.
Well, I mean, I did not like when I meant grunt. I didn't mean like low level street soldier. I meant like he had a position of power, but then he essentially wronged Audrey, or his plans weren't in line with Audrey. So Audrey's like, this dude is an obstacle in my way to get what I want. And the phone call just seemed like the person she was on the phone with, he seemed like that was top dog level stuff. He's like, hey, you took out one of my guys. You had no right to take out one of my guys.
It could be. My read was that the guy in the ground was formerly higher than her. Yeah. And that's the whole thing, is she's put him down.
Okay.
We'll never know. No. Or we will. I don't know. In a future film, if this gets one. Brandon, you're right. Jamie Foxx is pretty good in this.
I was going to actually say something else.
Okay, go ahead.
No, in regards to... the exposition. I've been talking a little bit about the exposition. It's not something that really hurts the movie all that much for me, but there's a lot of exposition that is not delivered very well. And I talked about the scene where they talk about all the different vampire types, and that's cool. I like the idea of different vampire types.
Me too. I like the way that he works out the logic, like the problem with the hive.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't feel like that really comes to any fruition of like fully explaining like why she's bringing them together, like how she's doing that, how she's making these different types of vampires want to live together. The implication for him of like, this is wrong. They would never be here together is pretty good.
Yeah. And then, but there's a line that Audrey says where she says, Audrey, right? That's the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where she says, humans used to worship us here. And then they find like the temple underneath the valley. It's meaning that at one point in the past, there was a vampire worshipping society in the San Fernando Valley. And I'm so interested in that coming to fruition, and it never does. It's dropped pretty quickly, outside of possibly setting up the set piece for the end fight.
Yeah.
And I thought that's one of the examples of just like the exposition in this film comes at you so fast and loose, and it never quite pays off in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
Because it's so front loaded, and then we just kind of do away with it.
Right.
I probably would have been okay with maybe 15 minutes more on the runtime to get some better exposition, some more lore dumps. Because I was I would like to know more.
I want to pause you. I don't think you mean more. I think you mean clearer.
Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah. For like,
because more is not the problem. It's not the problem that there's not enough of it. It's just not as clear as it needs to be. It's not as natural as it needs to be.
That's what I meant. I meant clear lore dumps or clear exposition, so that way we can understand. Because I do like the different vampires, and I do like how when James Franco character Seth, when they're in the hive after they take out the hive, he's like, "This is all wrong." I was like, "No, let's explore this. This is interesting." Because if all these vampires hate each other, and it's like, if these vampires don't like each other, how come they're living together? What's going on? And also, when they said Uber vampire, my brain thought about Uber, like the rideshare company. So I was like, why do they call them Uber vampires?
Just a bunch of rideshare vampires? My God, Ben.
Or they get their food from the rideshare app? I don't know.
Ben, what does Superman translate to in German?
Uber.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super vamps.
There you go. Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think that the exposition stuff just needs to be cleaner. But it doesn't change the fact that there's some sick ass action in this movie. There's some really great vampire action stuff. Can't gush about it enough, y'all. It's hard to describe, but like there's just really good shit. A lot of contortionist work, really excellent.
A lot of really interesting stunt work. There's also some interesting CGI happening within some of the fights with the use of a mirror in the first fight scene. I thought was really clever.
Yeah, the brothers are played by Scott Adkins, who does a lot of martial arts and all that kind of stuff, and Steve Howey is from Shameless, and I love Steve Howey, so seeing him here is wonderful.
They were a lot of fun.
They were.
Fight scene is really great.
I really love their appearance. I think that just the whole concept of the hive scene is executed super, super well.
There is an incredible sequence in that fight where I'm out, send me one, and they throw one bullet and he catches it in the barrel of the gun and then shoots it. And I thought that was incredible.
I love go ahead, Ben.
Not only does he throw a bullet, he unloads one bullet. It flies out of the chamber and into the other chamber.
That's the exact scene I was talking about.
That's just so freaking cool.
There's a lot of cool reloads. There's a lot of cool reload scenes too.
The part where the vampire throws Jamie Foxx upstairs and he's like, that guy just threw me up the stairs.
I think Jamie Foxx is really funny in this.
I think he has moments. There are some scenes where I would argue he's like just he's just doing his Jamie Foxx thing, and like that's fine. There's the
scene in the trailer. There's a scene in the trailer when he's just like, "Well, man, everyone pees their pants the first time. Did you? No, but you. Look, you did."
He's honestly, in my opinion, he is in many ways at his best with Dave Franco because Jamie Foxx has just never worked alongside, I think, someone who plays as fast as Dave Franco likes to.
Yeah.
With his energy, and it brings out a different dynamic from Jamie Foxx when he's more alone or he's like in the family unit kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, this is like standard. Here we go. Here's Jamie Foxx doing what he does.
But I do like the interplay between him and his daughter, especially on the car chase.
I do too. It's cute. Yeah, especially the car chase scene. I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's a great sequence. They do a lot of cool stuff here. As far as the action goes. I love the idea of the Fang market, although I don't understand. It bothers me a little bit that like Fangs are worth so much, but we don't know what the heck they're worth so much for. Especially that there's a union of hunters that do this, and like they make more money than the black market.
Yeah, which is wild.
Sure, okay. I can get on board, I guess, but I just don't understand why it's valuable to have them. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They could say like, oh, it's a proof of kill, I guess, but like that doesn't totally translate.
They're kind of like bounty hunters in that. If that were the case, then because they get paid for a kill.
Well, just by having the black market first would imply that there is more value than just proof of kill.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, I don't know, that concept doesn't feel like it's fully explored. But I do like that the Fangs are so unique in their look when they come out of a vampire mouth. It's crazy that they look so different when they look very normal, standard vampire when they're in the mouth, but when they come out, they look insane. But I do like that they look insane. I think that's cool.
Also, I kind of like it how Audrey's... Oh, sorry, one more tiny little thing about Audrey. She talks about how vampires are nothing without their fangs. They can't live without them. It's like, rip. I was kind of hoping to see like Jamie Foxx or someone rip out the fangs out of a live vampire. It's like, yeah. Suffer that way. I don't know. I don't know.
I got the impression that it's kind of like a bee. It's not quite like a bee can't live without a stinger. It's like because they won't be able to feed without their fangs.
Right.
Correct me if I'm mistaken. Do we ever see her right-hand man get killed? I know we see his arms get ripped off, but do we even see him after that?
Well, Dave Franco like tackles him to the ground.
Oh yeah, okay.
And the implication is, I guess he ate him.
Can you eat another vampire?
That wasn't clear either. By the way, Snoop Dogg, I think is great in this.
I think he's great 85% of the time.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a few times where I'm like, all right, so this is like, this is Snoop Dogg being in this movie. All right. But I have to say, like, A, he was in it way more than I anticipated, and B, I think most of the time he was a great inclusion.
I do too. I really like that character, Big John. I love the minigun thing about it. Big Bertha. I thought that was really cool. The big save. I think that's really great.
Yeah.
That's honestly the part where I'm like, I love Snoop Dogg. I enjoy him. That's great. He can't carry the sacrifice moment. It feels very, very forced.
Which is probably why they decided to keep him alive.
They honestly, like, it would have played even better if he had just stayed mostly silent. But he's trying to put he's written to put a little too much emotion into it.
Yeah.
But he should have just like put it down and be like, light up a blunt and be like, just go, man. I got this. And like that be the end of it, because that's all it should have taken. And that would have honestly played better, I think.
So if you're bitten You don't automatically become a vampire, or is Big John a
I
vampire?
assume we're living by the rules of
Buffy.
Well, Buffy's not the only place that does this, but that you have to drink from them as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I also thought.
No, Princess Sparkle Bunny. We're talking about Archie versus Predator comic a little later.
Yeah, Predator was last week.
If you're looking for Prey, that's here on our YouTube channel.
On its own separate channel, its own separate video also, so you don't have to sit through all the... Ben, I got it.
Too many cooks in this kitchen. Yeah, I think... God, where were we at? Oh, Snoop Dogg. Yeah. I think it lives by those rules that I think that's the implication that you have to drink the other vampire's blood to turn. Sure. I do like the cheeky like Lost Boys moment of it's like, you know what I love about the Valley? All the vampires. Like leaving it off on. I think that's fun.
I think James Franco's turn is kind of abrupt, but I appreciate that it. I mean, there's not really a lot of setup for this, but there's a little bit of setup with like, oh, the vampires are real people. You know, it's crazy to think that these are real people, and then like the payoff being that there are two good vampires.
Yeah,
I think that's I think there's something there, and I like that Dave Franco was a good vampire.
I think I think it does get a little murky about the concept of like a lot of what Jamie Foxx's character has done it, and like what we've seen him do and what we know he's done is hunt down juvies who are the young ones, and the young ones are probably in the most despair, and it's like there's an implication of like there could be a better way out for their own humanity. Yeah. But the movie's not interested in playing with that concept, and that's fine. I still stand by that. I'm like, I really like Dave Franco's character in this movie. I think he's fun. I think he brings out a lot of good energy from Jamie Foxx. I think Heather works better in a third act where he actually ends up just killing Dave Franco's character, because that means that he has to rely and play with her more. And it's honestly a more tragic moment for Jamie Foxx's character if he failed to save him. But there's not a lot of that in this movie, and that's okay.
Yeah. I like how the secret organization is teased, kind of in the same way that John Wick was in the first film. I actually appreciate that we don't really get a lot more outside of like, oh, they haven't been around for very long and they've just expanded internationally. Like, there's some cool stuff there.
I really like the way they do the invisibility in the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that effect is done really well.
I really like the grandmother. I mentioned it. The fight scene, how they use the mirror with the grandmother, I think is really cool.
It's an older one that I really like to see, and I think they used it to their advantage really well. I also really like the concept of the multiple air conditioners to let you know that a home has a vampire in it. They have to keep it really cold in the valley.
Yeah.
3 to 4 air conditioners for a 1-floor small home.
And
pretty telltale sign.
What's actually really interesting about that is that felt like it was set up really well in a way that this movie kind of forgets to. How it showed us, it didn't tell us.
Yeah.
Because the first time we see Jamie Foxx go into a vampire home, we see his breath, and that tells us, oh, they have to keep it really cold.
Yeah.
Right. Well, before he walks in, we see a line of 4 air conditioner units, and I'm like, yo, I lived in a 2-story apartment and I had one of those, and I know that's too many air conditioners for this house. And we get the same thing when the brothers are raiding the hive. We see multiple air conditioners for that home that shouldn't have them, because you just don't need that many for that size home.
That hive fight scene is so good.
It's really great. It's the highlight of the film, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the shitty boss character at the Union works pretty well. I think that he's played well. I think his interaction both with Big John and Jamie Foxx's character all works pretty well. I think there's a lot of inventiveness in the weapons. There's some cool stuff there. There's a lot of fun world play in this movie. Honestly, like the movies like negatives working against it would be far less incremental with a stronger villain presence. Yeah.
Shall I read what Ryan wrote?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So Ryan says, do you want me to read his score as well?
Yeah, go ahead. Might as well right now, even if we have more to say.
So Ryan says, I give Day Shift an 8 out of 10. Great action and inventive vampire stuff, even if it's a bit shallow. Villain was serviceable, but fun enough. Heather, the vampire friend, didn't have much going on other than we need to desausagify this fest, so I wish she was more developed.
I didn't want to say that because I knew Ryan said that, and I was like, he's so right. That's exactly why Heather's here.
Other than that, a good time at the TV movies, 8 out of 10.
Yeah. I think also we didn't play enough with the concept of familiars and like humans that would be devoted and how they felt about it, that kind of thing.
Agree.
I think there's just a lot of like pieces on the table that we could play with more. But like again, what really matters is that the characters overall worked. The family concept is like in the sense of the timeline, like just I've talked about it. The wife's bullshit bothers me a little. But the action is good. The setting is good. The world is unique in a way. They did some cool stuff with I'd rather they take big swings with creating new ideas around vampires than just do the usual. And they did. They did take some big swings. And I think that the characters mostly work really well, especially our main cast with Franco, with Snoop Dogg, with Jamie Foxx. So yeah, I had a good time watching it. I had a better time than we feared a while ago.
Great.
You want me to rate it? 7.5.
Yeah.
7.5 out of 10.
Final thoughts. This was a fun time. I am actually really glad I watched it. This was definitely a more... It's because when you say vampire hunting movie in LA, it could go one of two ways. It could go like pretty good or like really bad, I feel. But this is definitely one of those movies. It's like, this is a fun watch. I mean, yes, there are some glaring problems with it, and there are some things where I wish they expanded on a little bit more. But other than that, I still was very entertained. I was having fun. I mean, I do agree with Brandon. There were times it was pick up your phone in certain instances, but other than that, solid film, 7.5.
I agree with a lot of what you guys stated. I stand true to everything I said. I think it is a very good time, though. I really like the actors playing our heroes. I should clarify. I think they're a lot of fun. I think the action is fantastic. Rivals are not... It's close to John Wick. It's not quite John Wick, but it's close to John Wick. I think the action is very good. A lot of practical action that I really liked. I felt this was a very cinematic movie. Felt very cinematic for Netflix. Didn't quite feel like, what people are claiming the Gray Man is or things like that. Very bright and brightly colored film. Yeah, I really liked it. I really had a good time. 8 out of 10.
I think this is a good point, Brandon. That I think 8 out of 10 is a good score. I come in a little lower, but I get it. Mm-hmm. I think this is a good compare and contrast against The Princess, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the action is here, but so is a lot of the other stuff I was saying was lacking in The Princess. This has like character stuff, this has world stuff that's really engaging and all that. This is landing where I think The Princess fell short. This has a lot of the things I think that film needed to sell more than just its action.
Shall we do our book club then?
Yeah, let's book it.
Ben, don't, for the love of God, take it away. Don't do it, Ben. Don't do it. Ben, take it away.
I was like, where are you going with this? All right,
don't try to stop me, Shmee. Don't try to stop me, Shmee. Shmee, try to stop me.
Shmee, stop me. Stop me. Good pull. So my book club is Archie versus Predator, which is written by Alex DeCampi, penciled by Fernando Ruiz, inked by Rich Kowalski, and colored by Jason Millet or Millet. I don't know. It's spelled Millet. So there's probably a bunch of different pronunciations for that. Anyways, this is a book. This is 4 issues of Predator and Archie. What do we think of this one, guys?
I learned something this week, which is that I apparently hate Archie comics. Who knew? Yeah, I think Archie's terrible. Top to bottom, if this is what they're like, which I assume it probably is, They are awful. Oh my god. We just have Betty and Veronica being petty bitches over being in love with Archie, and then Archie can't. Honestly, Archie is the big piece of shit because Archie knows, and he's just like, oh, I'll love this one. Oh no, wait, I'll love this one. Oh, I'll do this, and that's Archie forever. Jesus, these are terrible comics. Predator should kill all of them.
So
literally every character in here I felt deserved to die.
Even Jughead?
Even Jughead.
Oh, okay then.
He eats a cake with a man's eyeball on it.
Oh,
what do you want from me, Ben? They're all terrible people. They're all selfish assholes.
So, you know what? I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole this week. I was watching a bunch of videos from a bunch of other comic YouTubers talking about Sonic the Hedgehog comics and Ken Penders and that whole fiasco. Sure. And in each one of those videos, they said that Sonic the Hedgehog was Archie's #1 selling book outside of the title character.
Uh-huh.
So the more this was published by Dark Horse. This was not published by Archie Comics, although they definitely gave their.
It was a partnership.
It was a partnership, exactly. Yeah, it was a partnership. But
a good old-fashioned intercompany crossover, baby.
Sorry. Ben has pointed out that I guess I need to clarify. I mean comics literally about Archie and those characters. I don't mean the Archie Comics organization.
So what I'm hearing is you just hate every employee and every writer who works at Archie Comics.
No. I just hate all the people that live in Riverdale, apparently.
No, I understand what Sparks was saying. I completely understand. But yeah, when I picked this, I was just like trying to find something, and I saw Archie v Predator. I'm like, screw it, let's go with that one. We just saw Prey. Prey was fun. I loved Prey, and give me some more Yahucha. Now, like, just kill them all.
When I reading this one, I was like, okay, what I want is a high body count, and I got that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty satisfied with it. It's not a great comic, but it is. I did have a good time with it. It's kind of parodying of what Archie is. It is like Archie hyper focused, but it's not that different. I like that they brought in Sabrina. There's some interesting references to Afterlife with Archie and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah, there's
the backup where Chilling Adventures of Sabrina meets Hellboy. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So there's a thing that I feel pretty strongly about. There's this one where this is early in issue 1. Be back in 10 in your best outfits, gals, and remember, for us, best dressed means least stressed. And I'm like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's an amount of like where you're making you're pointing out that a thing is bad by displaying it, and like you're educating in that direction. 30 Rock falls into this camp a lot for me today, because it does this thing where it's like, because we say the thing in this way, you should know that the thing is wrong. And it's like, actually, in the context that you displayed it, you are actually just enforcing really bad ideas and stereotypes, because you're not actually countering it. You're just saying, here's the thing, but it's okay because we're saying this is bad, but it's also the behavior that everybody will engage with and say is okay. And that's kind of where I fall on this one, which is that the rampant misogyny of the characters in Archie comics, and just the like really plasticky, terrible ladies as they are portrayed, is like, that's fine. And I think it's even like, it's trying to do tongue-in-cheek parody of Archie, and it's trying to like execute on these characters. I'm being a little critical. It's trying to execute on these characters being obscene in the way that they are. Like, these are obscenely bad things for these characters to say and do, and that's why they should be murdered.
That's why they change whenever the Predator kills one of their friends and gets blood on them. It's supposed to be parody,
right?
Because in the real situation, you wouldn't do that,
right? And like, I get it. I feel like it desperately needed for me to like. Maybe the point is to hate all the characters. I guess that could be it. Maybe that is the point. But like, maybe this is more of just a me reflecting on like, boy, I think maybe Archie comics were a mistake. And like that, getting that read, because I've never read Archie before, and now here I am, and I'm saying, I don't think that these characters have a counterpoint to say like, but actually this behavior is bad. And like if you are just taking this at face value, it's like this behavior is the behavior that it is, and that is enforceable unless you obviously already know that this is wrong.
It's a lot more adult than your average Archie comic.
Oh sure.
Obviously it has to be because the Predator's in it, but like even so, there's like you won't find explicit sexual innuendos or a kind of uncomfortable reference to the AV club nerd wanting to kill his entire school. You won't get any of that in a real Archie comic,
right? And I guess like I don't feel like the comic goes hard enough on saying like, hey, everybody in Archie is actually the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I wish it went harder on that concept. And I think nowhere does that land more fully for me than Archie himself.
Yeah.
Like when Archie looked like he was going to turn into a gross monster, I was actually super stoked for it.
Me too.
But then he just becomes like a superhuman, and I'm like, no, you missed the point. The point is that he should have become an ugly monster. Both of the girls should have rejected him when he saw it, and then he goes into a crazy rage because like that's the only thing he ever relied on to validate him, and that's also the only thing they ever cared about in him. But they don't go that way, and I'm like, ugh. Anyway, there's a lot of fun, cool stuff, though, here. There's a lot of fun to be had, especially with the Predator murdering these people who I'm just too gleefully happy to watch get killed. I do think that they do some fun stuff, and I think it's funny to see the Predator in this setting and in this art style.
I think the first issue is mostly boring.
Yeah,
I think the book really picks up when the Predator actually shows up into the story.
Yeah,
I really like Dilton's little like pulling out the telescope, like, oh gorgeous, I can't wait to press myself against your aperture. Yes, and then the comet flies through, and he's like, yes. I think that's cute. I think that's funny.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was. I'm not gonna lie. I was really happy when Cheryl and Jason died by the Predator. Like when you saw them hanging up, I was like, okay.
God, it's so good. It's so good to see the goofy Archie art down there, and then like the Predator with mangled bodies in the trees, and it's like, oh yeah, y'all gonna die. Y'all gonna die.
And so, like, what was so cool about that is because that's when I started kind of getting into the book, the final page of the first issue, and when Pop gets his head blown off is a really cool. This is a really really cool moment.
Yeah,
I agree. But I think they also add in too much because the Jaguar dagger. That whole thing feels a little. Yes, I agree. I think the Jaguar dagger is like a little. Okay.
It just kind of just serves as an excuse to keep Sabrina in the story.
It serves as that, and also an excuse to say like that's why the Predator tracked them is because they had a weapon, and so it sees them as like worthy hunters for it to chase down.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's minor. I guess at best, like this comic works as like the good Friday the 13th movies where like you're really honestly rooting for Jason. And you just want all the teenagers to die because they're all pieces of shit. And if that's what this is going for, then I think it nails it. I do really like one of the only reasonable characters, I think, which is the black guy when he says, hey, ugly, your mama said it was your birthday, so I got you a present. And it's the grenade moment. I think he's cool. He's like the only one who doesn't say anything shitty the entire time and is dedicated to his girlfriend. So
yeah,
kind of sad to see him go, but I like that he went out like a badass. He's the only one who deserved to.
I really like the high body count in this because at the end of this, the only person left alive in Riverdale, the only two people left alive in Riverdale are Betty and Veronica. Riverdale is all gone.
And I don't want to talk about the ending yet because I really like the ending. But I do kind of like sit there and go, we get just the mention of the mass grave at Sabrina's. It's like just a side. It's just a side note that we mention. And then I do like this. The entire Riverdale police force, both cars, were helping Greendale's cops. I thought that was good. But then like the house, the police, and the mass grave, everything at Sabrina's was just replaced with goats.
Yeah.
There's just goats there now. And that's all that they've said about that. They're like, oh, that's weird. And then we move on.
I thought that was weird.
That was weird. Man. There were definitely times when I was reading this book, I was like, oh man, this book is so bad. And then it's like, oh man, this book is great. I was constantly...
Sparks is right. When the book is killing people, it's a good time because you're like, yes, get them.
Yeah. It's like, take down
Get him, Predator. Get him, Predator.
And then it's like when the Predator does show up and when the Predator's doing Betty, it's like, what the hell's going on?
I did like the audio-visual not audio-visual power, although AVP is a pretty cool acronym.
That was cute.
That's cute.
This book is also called AVP.
Okay, so this is the page where I was like, okay, I think you do know what you're doing to skewer these Archie characters the way they deserve to be, which is when Dilton comes in on the robot and reveals he's been building the Archie robot, and they say, what? Why is it Archie, Dilton? And he's like, don't you realize, Veronica, everything is Archie. And I thought that was pretty good. I was like, okay, I think Dilton knows where he's at. Maybe one of my favorite horrifying ways that a predator skins a skull is literally pulling Dilton's face off with his mandible. I thought that was good.
It's a crazy comic.
It's because it's in that Archie comic style, so it's like it's not as horrifying.
Because when you see it in that style, you think, oh, this is going to be, as far as I know, the only Archie book I've ever read was Mark Waid and Fiona Staples' run, and that's it.
It's a good book.
Other than that, it's just like when
By
you
the
see
way,
that
that's 3 issues.
Yeah, exactly. Like when Fiona Staples was off the art, I was like, I'm done.
Daddy installed a panic room in Loge Manor last year after that Russian arms deal went sour.
What?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because when you see that Archie art style, the traditional, or air quotes traditional Archie art style, you think, oh, this is going to be wholesome, fun times, and then now you just get a bunch of misogynistic jerkwad teenagers who die.
That's what my issue with the first issue, because it's just kind of like it's kind of a hyper comic version of Archie, and I'm kind of reading it, I'm like, okay, blah, but like I think the Predator is left off the table for far too long in that first issue. Like I don't need him to be murdering everybody right away, but like there's nothing really, because I just feel like I'm reading an Archie comic in the first issue. Yeah. And I guess that's kind of the appeal that we talked about with Prey, where you just kind of drop the Predator into a different scenario. And this is you just drop the Predator into an Archie book. But it doesn't quite work the same way that Prey did.
Yeah.
It's because Archie books are apparently terrible. These characters suck. But I'm glad that that's the point. I do, it's kind of hokey, but like the got the grip moment,
oh sure,
fun reference. It doesn't make a lot of sense for the moment that's happening after that, but whatever.
They call the bar Dutches in Costa Rica.
I saw that.
I agree with Ben though that there's something a little like, I don't think it's made obvious enough in some way, like what the Predator's fascination with Betty is. I don't understand why the Predator feels bad for stabbing Veronica. That's not really clear to me in this version. I can get I guess that more than anything. Like I could get the Predator being like, no, Betty, you can go. Betty lives. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. God, Betty, you're 17. Gosh darn years old. You'll get over Archie.
I was really glad that Archie died.
I was too, and I do like. Okay, so the ending is funny because the ending is horrifying. Like even the Predator knows. Like you see it on his face. Like this is terrible. This is horrifying. What's about to happen to the Predator?
The Predator is turned into Archie at the end of this book.
The Predator is the prey. In the end, like the real predators are Betty and Veronica's unreasonable appetite for Archie. It was fun. It's not a bad comic. I do think it's a fun time watching the Predator just absolutely butcher these teens. I just kind of wish that Betty and Veronica were dead at the end because I hate them.
Sure. If there's anything else,
cool job. You want Archie and Predator? You did it. It's there. Apparently, there's a sequel.
I think it's unrelated. I think it's just a separate crossover.
No bullshit.
I don't know. I haven't read it.
I want to watch a Predator just like stuck looking like Archie, just like frustrated.
Because like the reason why I probably remember it being an unrelated sequel is because like the other characters are in it, but you've killed them all, so you don't have any. You've killed every Archie character at the end of this book. You have no one left.
Let's see, Archie versus Predator 2.
Yeah, let me know.
In the hopes of reversing the massacre of their friends, Betty and Veronica take the polymorph predator to Memory Lane in order to alter the past, only to find it converted into a construction site. Despondent, the two girls and the predator leave Riverdale, only to find themselves back in Riverdale in an alternate universe, where their friends are still alive and about to go to a Halloween party. Dilton, now costumed as the Predator, Jesus Christ, announces that he has found a way of tapping into alternate realities, but as he activates the device in his helmet, a host of predators intercept its signal and trace it to Earth.
Sparks, I wanted you to read this Archie versus Predator 2, not season 8 of Riverdale.
I'm sorry. One and the same?
Sure, of course.
Oh my god.
Because I was hearing this, I was like, this is Riverdale. Riverdale would do this.
Yeah, they would.
But I guess that means Riverdale's a good adaptation of Archie, because Archie did this. That actually kind of sounds awesome. I might read that. Okay. Ryan's book club
is picturing
a
predator trapped looking like Archie trying to communicate with other predators.
Bertie. All right. Ryan's book club is next week, and he did send it over. He's going to do She-Hulk Volume 1 by Charles Soule. And
Law and Disorder.
Pulido.
That's the title of Volume 1. Law and Disorder.
Law and Disorder. Ties in with a show, I believe. There's a show?
There's a show coming out? Are you asking me?
Yeah.
You're asking are you asking me if there is a show about She-Hulk coming out?
Yes, Sparks. Is there a show about She-Hulk? Shut up, Sparks. I don't like you right now.
You love me.
You ruined my bit.
There's no good place to talk about it, but the billboard marketing for She-Hulk, I told Brandon, has been excellent.
Yeah.
They have the call lawyer She-Hulk kind of billboard marketing. I think it's very good.
Okay, yeah, that's
also
pretty
made
good.
a Tinder profile for her.
That's less good.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
It matches with everyone. Oh,
literally her about her info is this isn't real, but do you want to pretend like it is for a moment? Man, could you imagine? Check out She-Hulk. Yeah, she goes on dates. Disney Plus, August 18th.
Oh my god.
Next week, we will not be talking about She-Hulk, however, we will be reviewing the latest film in the Dragon Ball saga, Dragon Ball Superhero. I'm excited.
Everyone's excited.
Dun, 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 dun. No, that's the Dragon Ball Z Kai theme song.
Yeah.
What's the Dragon Ball theme song?
Your Dragon Ball Super theme song?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's
that
one.
Sounded great to the listeners.
Absolutely. I know, it must
perfect.
have. Must have. No, the Dragon Ball Super theme song changes every couple of arcs.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of a bummer, honestly. So I wish that they had remastered the original Dragon Ball theme.
Chala.
Chala Headchala. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, guys. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're all excited for Dragon Ball. Let's just talk about Dragon Ball for the next 30 minutes. Why do we always end this? We can end this. We can end this and say goodbye to everyone and just keep talking.
I have to pee.
I've
had to pee through the whole book club.
You could have gone.
No, I had things to say and I wanted to hear what you guys had to say.
All right. I'll let you go. All right, guys. That'll do it for the show then. No Dragon Ball talk until next week. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, and you can find all sorts of shows on this channel, such as Fake Nerds Watch. Fake Nerds Watch. What are you laughing at, Sparks? What did I do?
No, I was just laughing at the reaction of what I said. That's all.
Oh. Fake Nerds Watch recently put up Umbrella Academy. We have been talking about doing Sandman. It will happen. Just probably not this week, right, Sparks? You're leaving.
Yeah. I haven't watched anything, so it's gonna be a moment.
So it'll be a bit. We're going to review it after we read the volumes. We've decided.
I don't expect Ben to read all the volumes. No offense to Ben.
There's only 2.
2.5.
Oh, I said half. That might get him.
Just like the trailers.
All right. Okay. So that's but anyway, Umbrella Academy season 3 is up now. You can find that in the description below, and you can find all sorts of other shows such as Basement Arcade, is the video game Let's Play series that we do, where you can watch us play video games such as Mortal Kombat X.
Absolutely.
And Basement Arcade Pause Menu is our video game discussion show.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a new episode soon. I believe you recorded a recent one.
Yes, new episode's coming out soon. Cool.
Did you do that? Okay. Big Nerd Book Club and Animation Station are our other shows that you can find on this channel. We're really funny, Sparks.
For our audio listeners, we changed Ben's name again. It says Big Bentley Magnet.
Well, I did Big Bentley and then Sparks added the magnet.
Oh, I didn't know you were doing it at the same time. I wrote the whole thing.
Oh man, we're so funny.
Great
Sparks.
minds, great minds.
I love you. You're my best friend. I get to see you next week for Dragon Ball.
We get to see each other. We get to see Ben too.
I get to see Big Bentley for
He's
Dragon Ball.
significantly less excited right now about it, but he's going to have a great time.
Ben, just think about how much joy you have brought us today.
I might be sending your presents back to England now.
All right. Do you still need my
That's
address,
okay.
by the way?
No, I'll just give it to you guys next Saturday when I see you.
Right, I'm seeing you next Saturday for Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Guys, next Sunday on the show is Dragon Ball Super Superhero.
So exciting.
Yeah. Okay. Big Nerd Book Club and Animation Station are the other shows that we do on this channel. Hopefully you'll see new episodes of those someday. You can find our Patreon and our TeePublic in the description below. If you like to support us financially, you can do that there. Or you can find all the links to everything that I mentioned on our website at FakeNerdPodcast.com. All those links are down below. Website link down below. Check it out. Thank you to everyone who listens. Oh no! Thank you to everyone who listened. What you say first?
Get it together, man. You got it. Let's get us to the end.
Thank you to everyone who listens. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci for our theme music and all the music that you heard tonight, as well as you can find his podcast, Suburban Proctologist, on Instagram at Subproc Podcast or Facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official. You can find his Instagram at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards. Yeah, cool stuff. You can find our good friend Mike Patola on a recent episode of our show. You can check that out. That's link. That's on our channel. Check it out. A lot of fun. How to Train Your Dragon, and he does a couple of our logos. And hopefully we get him on soon. Mm-hmm. Probably not this month though, which is unfortunate.
It's tight. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, but we already know the game that we want to do, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
You can find him at Mike Matola on Instagram and TikTok. Mm-hmm. They put up some really funny TikToks this week. Did you see them?
I did.
Yeah.
The one with Michael Caine.
That's pretty good. It's just
Oh yeah, that one. I did see that one.
I wish he'd had more in his beard.
Me too. Me too. You can find him. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find my writings on Screen Rant, Atomic Geekdom, and KaijuMedia.com. Sparks?
You can find me just gushing about how much I truly love my dear friend Ben Magnet at Sparks Witty on Instagram and Twitter, SPARKZ Witty.
And our dear friend Ben Magnet.
You can find me and my dead fisheye charm at BenMagnet27 on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You can also find me writing for Old School Gamer Magazine, Fusion Gaming Magazine, and GoNintendo.com. And also, I'm still playing it. Me and my buddy are pretty sure we are officially going to go this year. We're still in the planning stages, but...
Can he see out of
that? No, I cannot see. I can hear you. I cannot see. That's the point of the blindfold, Brent.
Holy shit.
As I was saying, I am planning to go to Portland Retro Gaming Expo in October, so I'm going to be there for the entirety of the show. So if you're going there, and I mean, I'll put an official thing, but that's what I'm planning to do this October. And of course, more information will be revealed. But yeah, so if you're going to Portland and I make it out there, I hope to see you there in Portland.
Ben, when is that?
That's the weekend of October 14th, I believe. Let me double check that.
Okay.
So, okay. For those of you listening to the audio, you're really missing out on some quality visual gags by not watching us on YouTube, which you can find. It's linked. I link it. It's linked there. You can check out the video.
All this. Okay, please.
Okay. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcast, and Pandora. Real quickly, Mag, once again, we always got to acknowledge our good friend Mag. We'll watch this again after I watch Day Shift. Take care, gang. Stay safe. Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure seeing you in the chat. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Like this video. Subscribe to our channel. Until next time you see us, guys. Shoot, I forgot that when I do this is stay fake, nerds.